Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Jbk Zone Coverage podcast show. Season 1, episode 15. I'm your boy, the host, the big dog man, and I'm not happy. I'm not. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning, Ryan. What's going on? How you doing, man? I'm not happy. I'm very angry. Very angry. But show must go on. Let's go bring my panel up. Let's go bring up B. Shriller and Monkey. Good morning, y'all. What's going on? How y'all doing, man?
Morning.
I'm doing great.
I bet you are. I know after last week, I know Kevin's excited and happy. Feeling good too.
Hell yeah.
How you feeling, man? I'm not happy. I'm not. For obvious reasons,
Yeah.
That's what happens when your team decides they want to play on a Saturday.
Man, I think we play next Saturday too. Next week Saturday too. I figure. But you know what? Everybody charming in, tuning in to our show, and we'd like to welcome y'all to our show once again, man. This is what we do every single week, man. So we got decided to bring it to you guys. We're in the holiday season, man. Towards the end of 2023, moving on to 2024, man. As always, man, I like to welcome y'all to our show every week. We want to talk about how we expand, how we grow, and the easiest way to help us grow and expand is scanning our QR code, which is on my right. Y'all left, depending on how y'all got your camera or computer set up, phone set up. I'm going to scan the QR code. We can take every one of our social media platforms. Please make sure you scan that today and follow us all over all of our social media platforms for all of our highlights of each show. Also, if you missed our show, don't worry about it because we are also on Spotify as well. So you go to Spotify.com and put in Jbk Zone Coverage podcast. You'll see all of our latest shows.
And YouTube.
And we also live on YouTube as well. Thank you for that, be sure. Before we even kick off the show, man, I'll let you know that I'm really stressed. I'm really, really stressed right now. I just cannot grasp like this how bad. I mean, like this team looks, man. I'm just like, man, I can't believe. I was telling be sure I think a couple of days ago, man. Well, months ago, like, we used to be one of the most fortunate teams. We was one of the teams you did not want to have problems with or run into late December, late January. Now, I hate to say it, we're looking like Cleveland back in the day. How bad they used to be. Well, they scared of y'all, and look at where they at right now. Look at them. Look at them. We used to be a feared team, especially on defense. No one fears us anymore. Outside of T.J. Watt. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, man, like this team is pathetic, man. I'm just not happy with you. But how you feel about your game? How your team going so far, progressing so far? Be sure.
Yeah, it was wonderful yesterday. I saw a complete Lions team yesterday. They played offense well. They played defense well. I was so shocked that they came out and played that well. I got to say, I was shocked that they came out and played that well. I kind of felt that they were going to beat the shit out of Denver, but you know how feelings are. Sometimes feelings get the best of you. You know, you want to feel real good for your team, then it just turns upside down for you. But it worked out. I told everybody as long as the Lions took care of the ball and they didn't give Denver any kind of – Denver's going to show their true colors. They're not a very good team. They're not a very good team defensively. They're not a very good team offensively, and that's what it showed. So as long as you don't give the ball to Denver, Denver's got nothing to work with. And, that's what happened.
All right, Monkey, how you feel about last week being the Chiefs? How you feel about last week? Gary, you there? Can you hear?
What's up?
How you feel about last week's win? How you feel about last week?
I am excited. I mean, it's pretty funny to listen to all the Chiefs fans complain about the refs. Pretty fucking ironic, to be honest with you, being that the refs have been in their payroll for 4 or 5 years now. Mahomes is pissed because his check bounced and didn't clear in time for the game. Man, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, Bills won, deal with it. I mean, on to the next game. It's like the Chiefs are still stuck on last week. They don't want to move on. They're stuck with that, and they just constantly, no matter what social media outlet you're looking on, that's all you're hearing is Chiefs fans cry about this goddamn flag. Well, tell Tony to keep his ass on, the right side of the line and not on top of the fucking line or lined up with the defense maybe, and then maybe they wouldn't have called it.
His foot was way past the damn foot.
I promise you I will get into that later on in the show. I just wanted to get a little quick little synopsis of what happened last week. But let's get right into our flashback video of the week.
McDermott is the snapper. And the kick is no good! Wow! Go figure. Oh, baby, yeah. It's time to pray to the heavens, Michael. You're right. No good. Not even close.
Let's look at these laces one more time. Jeff Locke, the holder, is going to try and put it down, and bingo. Looking right back at the kicker, and I'm telling you, psychologically, sometimes that can get a kicker, but there's no way to practice making a 3-foot putt.
And I'm laces
up.
Blair Walsh missing a game winning field. I don't know how. It was like inside their 10. What happened?
Yeah, it was like a 20. It was a chip shot.
Yeah, I can't believe that. The Seahawks should have been eliminated.
That's the Vikings being the Vikings.
Oh man, I thought I was like, you know what? Oh my God, he really did miss that. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it, man. But that was our flashback video of the week. I'll tune into next week. Our next show video week is. I'll tune in next week till then. All right, y'all, let's get right into our Thursday night game. We had the Raiders at the Chargers. It was a blowout game. 2-21. I want to see it. Let y'all know right now. I ain't watched the look at this game, so I went to watch the highlights. And I'm like, wow, 42 points in the first half. Like, they dominated this team. Like, the 21 points they scored was garbage time. We all know that. It was 36-0 if you ask me. And that was pretty much garbage time after a while. Games were decided by the first half. You want to talk about a level of dominance. Like, it looked like the Raiders were able to did whatever they wanted to do to the Chargers. The Chargers defense couldn't guard a lick, man. It was just bad. And now having just the field out there, which in my Herbert, my eyes would have made a bunch of a difference. But I mean, it's just that this whole team is just bad. Like, it was really tough looking at that. I was like, damn, man. They had trick plays going in that running game. The running game was stellar. The pass game was stellar, man. The O'Connor dude looking the lead out there. It was bad. It was really bad, man. So that's my highlight for what I saw. What you thought about that game?
Yeah, this is exactly why Staley's no longer the coach of the Chargers. This is bad. This is bad coaching anyway. I mean, they could have it had nothing to do really with the team. It's just bad coaching. You didn't get your team up for this game. This is a division game. You didn't get your team up for this game. Yeah, they were down Keenan Allen. They were down Herbert. They were down Mike Williams. They have a lot of players that are off the roster right now that are injured. I understand that. But you still go out there and give it your all. It's a division game. And the Chargers have been, they're up and down this season. They could have, if they would have won this game, they could have had some kind of chance to do something. But no, they just squandered everything on this game, and it was Staley's fault. Staley is not a good coach, and obviously the people in Los Angeles in the franchise decided he wasn't either. So bye. And along with this, what was the CEO went to? They fired 2 people and the running backs coach. They just started firing everybody. They should. They said, "Fuck it, I'm firing everybody." But yeah, I don't even know why they didn't fire the defensive coordinator. But I think that the defense was getting called by Staley anyway, so that even makes it worse. You give up 63 points. That's not good at all. Oh yeah, they suck.
That was wild. Monkey, what you got?
One word: embarrassing. I mean, the Chargers, I don't give a shit about the injuries because they've been playing like shit all year. This isn't just this game. They're inconsistent. They're supposed to be one of the better teams in the AFC. They have one of the better quarterbacks in the AFC, and yet look what they're doing. Nothing. They're losing. And yes, okay, so like Herbert's been injured this game and whatnot. Well, what's your excuse for all the rest of the games that you should have won in a year? I mean, there's no excuse for it. And The Chargers are doing what they should be doing, and that's cleaning house and getting rid of everybody because nobody did their damn job that game. Not a damn one. Everybody from the GM down should all be fired and cleared out. I mean, it's not like they could do any worse than what they got right now.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, this is like a pivotal moment in their franchise where they need to say, well, who are we going to be? Are we just going to be the same old Chargers that we have been, the inconsistent Chargers forever? Or are we going to try to give ourselves a new outlook at the game and give us a new identity and actually play some damn football? I mean, Chargers fans got to be pissed.
It ain't going to get no better for them.
Nope.
They ain't get because they got to play Buffalo next.
Golly.
Man, if the Bills lose against the Chargers, I'm going to be like John and not wear any of my team's fucking gear on the podcast.
You see that no more the rest of this season. That's over with. That's over with. Yeah, I was tough. I was like, damn, man. Hey, 42 points first half. I mean, sometimes the last time I see something close like that is when we play Cleveland in that postseason game. They dropped like 35 points in the first half. Like, I see something close to something like that. But I was like, damn, they really demolished this team. Like, golly. They really did, man.
Raiders sent a franchise scoring record beating the Chargers like that.
That's a damn shame. No point the week before?
With a backup quarterback. They both had backup quarterbacks. So, I mean, their excuse for not having Herbert is falling on deaf ears because the Raiders didn't have their starting quarterback either.
You're funny, Ryan. You're funny. Yeah, let's go transition on to the Sunday night games. We had Saturday games. We had the Bengals at the Minnesota Vikings with an overtime 27-4. The Colts beat the Steelers 30-13. And then the Detroit Lions beat the Raiders on the Broncos 42-17. Let's get right into the Bengals the Vikings game. Vishal, what's your thoughts on that overtime game?
That was actually a pretty good game. I really thought, I did pick Cincinnati to win that game. But, I mean, Minnesota, Mullen, really Minnesota should have won that game. Mullen threw two bad interceptions in the red zone. I don't understand what the hell that one was when he was falling down, though. That was just the stupidest thing I ever seen in my entire life. I said, dude, why are you throwing a ball on your way down? Just take the sack and call it a day. Get 3 points or something, whatever. But this dude was going to throw the ball right into a defensive tackle's arms. I'm like, oh, God, this is I said, you ain't doing no worse with Dobbs at quarterback. I really can't. I think both of them played pretty well, Dobbs and Nick Mullen. But I'm like, it don't make real difference who's quarterbacking for the Vikings right now. They're not getting it done. So that's okay. We play them next. Keep fucking up.
All right, Monkey.
The Vikings had one fucking job to do, and they couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was up.
This is a time of year. This is a time of year where anytime an NFC team goes against the AFC team, regardless of their records, I'm still rooting for that NFC team. So,
for me, I'm mad because the Vikings had one damn job. They was up majority of this game. And until the Cincinnati scored 21 points all in the third quarter, fourth quarter, excuse me, and then the overtime they scored 3 to obviously win the game. I was so mad because the Vikings led throughout the course of this game. They made plays on the plays. Especially that one sneaky play they got with Jordan Addison. That was crazy how he got away with that one. I don't know how he pulled that ball up. That was a great play. I really was a good play. And then the interception. What was that about? Was that game? That was that game. We chucked up.
Yeah, DJ Hill, who had 2 interceptions in 2 games.
Oh my God, that was bad. But yeah, man, the Vikings had one job, man. But like I said, now he started the game, so how he finished it. And the Bengals definitely did put pepper in that one, man. They started coming back, started getting reloaded again, and want to win in this game. Jamal Chase had a good game too. I think the second half, Judge Jefferson really wasn't a no-show after that. They really had to put the time for him after a while. That was crazy. That was
Chase went out in that game. Jefferson had a pretty decent game. I gotta give it to him. But Addison had a better game. He had 2 touchdowns in that game. He was playing really well. That one pass that Mullen threw, basically with his eyes closed, into the end zone that Addison got. That was a really good pass. Kind of like both the quarterbacks pretty much did a very good job. I think Nick Mullins needs to limit his turnovers, but Browning, he did an absolutely that one pass he threw to Higgins where Higgins, he just reached his hand right across. That was awesome. That was the greatest play I've seen in a while. So yeah, they were going at it, and then not Higgins, Boyd with the one that got him in a position to get the field goal. That was that was all Browning. Browning had to run out the pocket and scramble for his life, and he threw that ball right in between 2 defenders too. It was awesome. So, I mean, that game got exciting really at the end. I mean, it was a pretty good game all along, but that's what happens. The Vikings are being the Vikings. That's cool because, like I said, one game, all we got to do is beat them one time and we win the division. So that'll be next week.
Go Lions.
That's going on with the next game with the Colts and the Steelers. Well, the Steelers at the Colts actually. And it ended in 30-13. Pathetic. And if you ask me, you see that you go up 13-0 and you blow a lead. I told everybody in the chat, once he missed that extra point, I said that's going to haunt us later on. And, man, like you want to talk about punishment on the defense, man? Like they really ran down our throat. Like they really punished the entire game. Like it don't make no sense, man. Mr. Bitch sucks. I say that every single week. Man, it's not good at all. Like I don't know. Like the first interception. I mean, I doubt that he tried to get himself to give a 50-50 ball, but I think he threw it where he thought Pickens was actually going to go, but Pickens had to come back for that one. But that was the interception. Then the second interception, you overthrew him completely. I don't know what it was. Like, I don't know. Your QB vision is not there. Consistency is not there. Only one that really showed any glow was TJ Watt. He had 2 sacks in the game. But everybody know, like, he's probably the only one going to show up. Mika Fitzpatrick went down later on that game. KZ has 2 really good hits. The second one, I think Michael Pittman kind of sold just a little bit, if you ask me. And he was ejected without even being replayed. Like, but they replayed until after he was already gone already. I felt that weird. OT's gone to replay it. And he used the shoulder, but I feel like he should have just got a warning and got the flag continued. I don't think he should have been ejected because it's not like he used his helmet. He was actually using the shoulder. But he wasn't trying. Obviously, he wasn't trying to hurt him. Obviously, he was just making a play. He made a really good tackle early in the game as well. The running game was stellar. We couldn't do anything with that, man. We just stale the whole entire game. Couldn't do anything. Don Johnson did score a touchdown on red zone, so that did help us up. But I just don't understand like how we start off strong and end terribly. Couldn't do anything. Going third downs. The offensive line was bad too. They gave up like 5 sacks, including the one that makes Mason call sacks. That made 5. Mike Tomlin benching Mitch Trubisky last 2 minutes. Why? Why put Mason in for what? For what? Like, George Pickens not wanting to block. Like, we look bad. We had a 13-point lead. Should have been 14, but after that kick, he doinked it. And he doinked it. That was the worst part. He doinked it. And I said, that shit going on. And that's exactly what happened. The coach did what they're supposed to do, man. They made plays. Shout out Gardner Minshew, man. Minshew mania. He went crazy on us, man. Their running game went crazy on us, man. It was really, really bad, man. It was really tough to see, man. But that's just my thoughts on that game. Be sure what you got for that game.
Well, at least it started off okay.
Yes, we did.
It was 13-0. I understand that some things that you say, John, about your team are true about some certain things, but that one interception that Mitch Trubisky, and I wouldn't call it an interception, the defensive back wanted it more than George Pickens did because George Pickens had his hand on that ball. He had both his hands on that ball, and that defensive back just ripped it away from George. Come on, dog. You starting to act really stupid now. I don't like this whole diva shit that you're getting into. I don't know what the fuck's going on in your head, but you're not blocking for nobody. You out there making half-ass plays. Come on, that's not helping the team out any. Harris, he fumbled the ball. That was bad. Bad fumble. He should have had that ball. I don't understand what he was doing there. And that came at a bad time too, because they were driving on that. So and the defense didn't play well. I mean, honestly, even before they lost KZ and Fitzpatrick, they weren't playing really well. TJ Watt is the focal point of the defense, but 2 sacks ain't going to do nothing for you if the rest of your defense isn't coming there to play. They have 13-0 lead. There's no excuse for that. The defense should have held them. Yeah, I know the offense can't score very much, but your defense should know that. Your team should know that. Everybody should be on that same page and say, look, we're having trouble with the offense right now. Defense has got to go. Defense just whiffed. They had a 13-0 lead. A 13-0 lead, and they whiffed. They let Indianapolis score 30 damn points. That's a goddamn shame.
Unanswered.
That's just bad football. And we've been talking about it before the show in the morning. This morning is that Tomlin doesn't look like he's not even engaged in the game anymore. I think he's just looking out there and saying, "This is the fuck I gotta deal with. I don't want to coach no more. I don't know, man." It's just he doesn't have that fire in his eyes like he used to. That Tomlin fire. He don't have that Tomlin fire no more. He's just not.
I remember, be sure we used to have that second half adjustment. Is that shit gone? That's gone.
Nope.
That's gone. It's gone.
Mm-hmm.
When the team scores points or more against us, the game's over. Because we're not going to come back. It's proven.
Yeah, I think there's some, as much as we talk about these other fucked up teams like, LA Chargers and stuff, and other fucked up teams, Pittsburgh should be right in line with getting rid of coaches. They really should. They need to get rid of the offense. I love Terrell Austin, but he's not doing his job there. Yeah, it's time for him to go. They need a new offensive coordinator. I think Tomlin needs to step down. His time is done. I mean, he's not getting anything from his players. He's not getting anything out of it either. His coaching is not the greatest. He's like, I'm just out here coaching. That's what I'm doing. And if you're coaching to be 9-8 every season, then dude, yeah, you need to go somewhere else or sit down or something, because that's not how you play in this game. And you're making Pittsburgh look bad. And and I'm surprised. I had this conversation with John too. I say, hey, dude, I've never seen Pittsburgh look this bad.
Right. Me neither.
They're turning into I told them to turn into the Lions.
But before I'm gonna get quick, listen to this. This is how I really feel. The Carolina Panthers got the worst record in football right now. But I think Pittsburgh is the worst team in football right now. Right now, this season, and the Panthers got the worst record, but we are the worst team in football right now. As of this season, we are the worst. Let that sink. I
still think, and with that said, I still think Pittsburgh would beat Carolina, because Carolina is pretty fucked up.
But we are the worst in football right now. This season, yes. All right, go ahead, Monkey.
30 unanswered points, bro. 30 unanswered. Like Brian said, it started off good. You guys were up to a 13-0 lead, and then everything just crumbled apart. Minshew is a good quarterback in the right system. We'll get to that later on too. But Minshew is he can ball as long as he's given the right opportunity in the right system, and that's what he's proving to do right now. He did it in Jacksonville. He did pretty well in Jacksonville. Yeah. He goes to Philly, and then you got all these Eagles fans saying he's trash because he couldn't do shit over there. Well, he didn't fit your soccer system. But to continue on with that, you got the Colts have Zach Moss and Jonathan Taylor running the ball. That is a two-headed monster you don't want to see. JT hasn't been playing the greatest this year because he's been plagued with injuries and whatnot. But Moss has stepped it up, and everyone's it's just Zach Moss, blah 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 blah. But this dude has been quietly good all year round. I have him on my fantasy team for a reason. He has won me games. The defense, the Steelers' defense is what has me throwing my hands up in the air right now, because that's Pittsburgh's identity. It's defense, defense, defense. That ground and pound, fucking, we're gonna force our fist down your throat, and we're gonna, make you pay for wanting to be on offense. they made them pay with that one hit that got him ejected. But I mean, and as far as that is considered, I'm in between with that call. I think it may have been a little excessive to boot him out.
Yeah,
But I think he didn't mean to actually hit him that hard. I think he was just playing with the emotions of the game, and it just so happened to come out. Should he be fined? Yeah, okay, fine him, or give him a warning. But kicking him out of the game, you've seen people do worse and not even get a fine until like 3 weeks later. So, I mean, I don't get it. But those are the refs for you, right?
Yeah, man.
I think the other thing that you got to understand about this game too, which makes it worse, is that Zach Moss went out in this game. And in the second half, guess who was toting the ball? The third and fourth string running backs.
Bullying
They were killing. They were killing that defense.
Bullying.
They bullied that. Just killing that defense. And even without
how many teams
Pittman,
have you known to be able to run all over Pittsburgh, bro?
None. None. Really none.
Hayward is playing, right?
Yeah, he was there.
He was there. So you got your front seven, or they're all good, right?
Yeah.
There no injuries or nothing like that.
I mean, you got injuries here and there, but they're there. We got a lot of problems in the middle linebacker area.
Okay, well,
pretty good. But I mean,
but your defensive line itself has always been the bread and butter when it comes to stopping the run. I mean, every time the Steelers play the Bills, I mean, granted, the Bills aren't a very good running team anyway, or in recent years, but we couldn't get anything. We would get 1 or 2 yards, and that was it. There was no getting 4 or 5 yard rushes on the Pittsburgh defense. It just wasn't happening. And now it's almost like they're saying, well, now we're just going to run all over them because they can't stop it. No. And I know that feeling because the Bills have been dealing with that same shit for the past like 4 years.
And one more thing before we move on to the next game. When Mike Tomlin first got hired, you know what his quote was? Run the ball, stop the run. And we ain't done that in years.
Right.
Let's go to move on to the third and final game. The Detroit Lions and the Denver Broncos, who ended 42-17. Be sure with your thoughts on this game right here.
And ask me my thoughts on this game. I thought the Lions were going to play well. I did. I thought they were going to come out. I figured they were listening to outside noise too. Sometimes that helps you win games, man. You listen to, oh, you guys ain't shit. You lost 2 of the last 3 games. You suck.
Losing to the Bears.
A good point that was made though in that game is they lost to Green Bay and Chicago, which is in their division. It's hard to beat people in your division 2 times. Now, I'm a proponent that says if you're a bad team, you should get beat anyway, so it don't make a difference if they're in your division or not. But that does bring up a good point. But the Lions should have never lost either one of those games, to tell you the truth. Because when I saw this game, it's like you have a tale of 2 Detroits. When Detroit Lions are bad, they don't function on any level. They turn the ball over. They don't get any turnovers. The defense plays like shit, and then they get their ass kicked.
They beat themselves.
When they win, it's like every facet of the game is much improved. Like the defense, they did exactly what the hell that I told AG, go out there and blitz. He was blitzing all the time. He caused Wilson to have a fumble. They were just on Wilson the whole game. They stopped the run pretty well. The run game was non-existent for Denver. As far as the offense was concerned, they went back to basics like they did at the beginning of the year, just doing what they do good. And Goff was just looking like Joe Montana. Dude was throwing through 5 touchdown passes, had 278 yards passing. Dude didn't have no turnovers. He was making good decisions. He was like 24 out of 34, I think it was. So, and then Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's the sun god. And the rookie tight end set an NFL record. He got 9 touchdowns. He got 3 in that game. Laporta. Gibbs was phenomenal in that game.
Yes, he was.
He I mean, really, Monty, he was cool. And he was pretty good too. He got his touches, but Jahmyr Gibbs, that dude had 9.1 yards per carry.
Jesus.
They could not stop his ass. And this is a defense. Everybody said, oh, this Denver defense is great, and blah, blah, blah. No, they ain't. That Miami defense showed up for Denver this time. And I keep telling people, all you got to do with Denver to show them their real self is don't give them turnovers, because that's the only way Denver won these games is because of turnovers. And they were opportunistic about these turnovers. Now, you don't give this team any turnovers, they suck. And they show that because they're not a good team. They're not good offensively. They're not good defensively. And if you don't give them the chance to be that way, you're going to beat the hell out of them. And like I said, Denver wasn't a good team in the first place, and I figured Detroit was going to come out here. It was at home. They needed to apologize to the fans for being shitty for the last couple of games. So that's what they did. They came out there and balled out. And they're only one game away from winning division. They got to go take care of business in Minnesota next week. If they can do that, they won a division. And then they got Dallas and Minnesota again at home. So, it's all in their hands right now. They're only ones that can fuck up their destiny. So I don't see it happening now that they got the ship righted. So let's hope this continues on and they get in the playoffs and they show something. I don't expect them to get in the Super Bowl. I mean, they kind of almost had the same kind of a bad spell like San Francisco did, if you look at. They're blowing people out and beating teams, and then they went through a bad spell. They came back. What was the first game San Francisco did? San Francisco's first game, they blew out. Who did they played? I think it was, I don't even remember who it was, but they beat the shit out of them.
Was it Seattle?
Yeah, was it Seattle? I'm not sure. But they beat the hell out of them. So, I mean, it's the same thing here. I think they're in line. I don't think they're as good as San Francisco yet. Jacksonville, yeah, they blew out Jacksonville. And Jacksonville was supposed to give them a good game, but they didn't. And that's the same thing with Denver here. So I think it's just the fact that sometimes you fall off the tracks. You just got to get yourself put it back on the tracks again. That's all.
All right, that's for me, man. It was still again, man. When Walker does not turn the ball over, man, they normally win. And that's what he's able to do right now. He looked really, really good, man. Through 5 TDs, man. Laporte, man, that tight end gonna be good for the long run. He'll be one of the top tight ends in the long run. I promise you, man. He is great, man. He's been phenomenal all season long, man. He has 9 now. He has 9.
Yep, 9.
Yeah, man. Gibbs, they couldn't stop Gibbs for nothing. 9.1 yards per carry. They could not. You know, Detroit got one of the best lines in the NFL history too. So
that's a Madden stat right there, bro.
That is crazy. That lets you know they couldn't do anything. They couldn't do anything. Like, he better do what he want, man. Marcel Brown, man, the Sun guy. What can I say, man? Stellar as well. Man, I really was impressed with Walker, man. I really was impressed with him, man. Like, no turnovers, man. That's the key to doing it, not turn the ball. When you turn the ball over, you don't have one of the best games. But this game was stellar. He was great. The defense was great, too. They made plays all day. Well, how about Brian Branch? He was everywhere last night. He was in everybody.
Yeah, he was laying the wood. He had one of them hits like Casey had.
Yeah, he
hit
did.
Somebody like that, and I was like, well, how come they ain't throwing a flag on that one? That's but he same thing, hit him with the shoulder and hit him. Well, it was a little bit lower than the helmet, but regardless, he still hit him the same way. I was like, okay, I was waiting for a flag to come out, but it didn't happen. But yeah, you're right. He played well.
I think Laporta. I think the Lions did a great job. I questioned when they got rid of Hawkinson because Hawkinson is a good tight end, but it panned out for him really well. I think Laporta is 10 times better of a tight end than Hawkinson will be, as long as he, barring injuries and whatnot. Like you guys said, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sun God, let him shine. I mean, the Lions are a good team. Are they as good as San Francisco and Dallas and Philly? No, they're not as dominant. But I think them losing the last 2 divisional games was a serious wake-up call, especially losing to the Bears. That's got to burn your all asses right there. But, I mean, it lit a fire under their asses, and now they're playing great. Hopefully they can continue for the rest of the season to play that well, play lights out, and win the division championship for the first time since when?
1993.
Thank you. Damn, Barry Sanders days.
Right.
That's gotta warm your heart though. But
Got to.
to finally have your team to be doing something to be proud of after such a drought. I mean, the Bills had a drought. I know the feeling as soon as they get in the playoffs and how exciting it is. But the Lions are a good team. They can they beat the better teams in the NFC? Any given Sunday, anything can happen. But they have to be consistent. They got to stay on the ball. They got to play Lions ball. They can't play into the opposing team's game. They got to play their game, and that's what it comes down to. They're young, so there's going to be learning curves and growing pains. But I'm telling you, they've been trending up for what, the last 3 years. They've been trending up 2-3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So. I mean,
ever since Dan
I laughed about the whole Goff and Stafford trade. I thought that was a horrible trade, but it's panning out.
Yeah,
I'm glad I'm wrong. But
yeah.
I thought Goff was a washed up quarterback. I didn't think he was going to do much because, like we've discussed, Goff has to have a run game in order to be successful. And as long as the run game is successful, Goff is successful. And I mean, it's true about this game too. So kudos to the Lions and all, man. I'm glad to see they're finally doing something instead of, blowing shit up in their faces.
I think the thing that's lost in this game too is that the whole offensive line started for the first time in a while. They've only played with each other for 5 games this season, all 5 games, which they won. And this would have been their 6th one. Once that offensive line, I think a lot of things too, if you have that offensive line shuffled, they showed they reared their ugly head against Chicago when they were Chicago was just coming through a line and getting Goff. Goff was making mistakes because the offensive line couldn't block pass rush. When they had all the line today, I don't think they really even. I think Goff took 1 sack, and that was because it was a coverage sack. And they didn't allow a sack. They didn't allow pressures on Goff at all, really. I think like 2 or 3 pressures they allowed on Goff. Other than that, he remained untouched, and he was just throwing. I mean, when you have that pocket clean like that, I mean, Goff, any quarterback. I mean, we could stand back there and throw all day if that's the case. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying Goff isn't a professional, but I'm just saying offensive line makes a difference in this league.
Yep.
And it shows with the teams that are winning.
A lot of people undervalue their offensive line. People don't understand that you lose one of your starters, it is a big deal on that line. It doesn't matter who comes in. You're just hoping, just like a quarterback, that they could do a decent enough job to pull out wins. A lot of teams don't have backup linemen that can come in and keep pace with the way they were. It just doesn't happen that way. Rather it be a tackle or a guard or a center, it doesn't matter. If it's a star player and he's out, your backup ain't gonna do as well. That's why they're called backups.
Right.
Sometimes you'll have people that come in and do their job and do it right, but for the most part, it's really hard to do that with an offensive line.
Yeah.
Watch out, we'll get right to Monkey's News.
Puka Nacua is the 4th player in the Super Bowl era with 1,100 plus receiving yards in their first 13 games. Tylan Wallace recorded just the 4th overtime punt return touchdown in NFL history. Deebo Samuel is the 2nd player to total 100 plus receiving yards and scored both a receiving and rushing touchdown in back-to-back games since Eagles running back Timmy Brown, and is the first wide receiver to have 19 rushing touchdowns in a career. Josh Allen has 9 games with a passing touchdown and rushing touchdown this year, tying Kyler Murray for most in a single season. Brock Purdy is now tied for second most games with 100-plus passer rating in a player's first 18 games since 1950, tying Hall of Famers Dan Marino and Kurt Warner with 12. Jake Browning's 79.3 completion percentage is the highest completion percentage in a quarterback's first 3 games since 1950. Brandon Aubrey has the longest perfect streak to start an NFL career, going 30 for 30, and he's the first kicker in the Super Bowl era to kick multiple field goals of 59-plus yards in the same game. And finally, the Chiefs have been held to 20 points or less 6 times in Mahomes' first 81 games. They now have 6 in the last 12 games.
I'm going to thank you for that news. Let's get right to our monkey trivia number 1.
All right. Puka Nacua is only the 4th player to reach 1,100 yards in 13 games. Can you name the other 3?
Will you read the country one more time?
Puka Nacua is only the 4th player to reach 1,100 yards in 13 games. Can you name the other 3?
DeAndre Hopkins?
Nope.
Randy Moss,
Moss is 1.
Jerry Rice?
Calvin Johnson.
Nope and nope. Here's a hint. At one point, one is currently playing for the Ravens, and one used to play for the
OBJ.
OBJ, yep.
Torrey Smith?
Nope. This other one also played for the Arizona Cardinals.
Fitzpatrick or Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald was on Baltimore. He played for Baltimore.
There's
Bolden. Bolden.
Yep. Anquan Bolden. There you go.
All right. I ready to get these football topics?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let's get it, man. I'll put the first one up. The Cowboys, for real. Be sure.
For right now, they are. That's all I can say about that. They are right now. They're playing pretty good football. They beat Seattle at home. They just run rough shot all over Philadelphia. I don't think Seattle's a great team, but it's an over 500 team. So they beat an over 500 team, and then they beat Philadelphia, which was 10-2 at the time. So I mean, you can't take that away from the Cowboys. They are playing really well. I think it's the best Cowboys team I've seen in the last 10 years. I don't think they're on that same level as the 96, back in the day teams, but they're playing a lot better. I think the coaching is a lot better, as much as I talk about McCarthy being ass anyway, but he's actually doing a pretty good job. Dak is playing really well. The defense is doing well. I mean, the running game is okay, even with, how, Tony Pollard. What the hell is his name? Tony
Pollard. Tony Pollard.
Pollard. That's what I want to say. Pollard is not. He's not the greatest running back, but he's doing effective work. So I mean, they continue to do that. If they stop that run game, though, I don't know if the Cowboys can advance. I still think San Francisco's the best team right now overall. I want to see the Cowboys actually beat them, but if San Francisco holds out and they get the number 1 seed, everything's coming through, San Francisco. So I don't think the Cowboys can win that game. They can make it interesting, I guess, but I think they're for real for now.
All right. For me, I think that's right now. I agree with you. I think they are right now. Right now, the defense is great. The offense playing well. Right now, they're on a 5-game winning streak. Right now, they're doing really good. They come up with a real big divisional win last week as well. 13 against Philadelphia Eagles. So right now, they're looking really good right now. But that's just what we want them to do. We want them to go up. You're excited, and they doing something, and then they crash. So keep on with it, Dallas. Keep on with it. We're just gonna wait. Just wait. What's Stephen A. Smith saying all the time? Be patient. Be patient. Right now, Dak Prescott playing the MVP form right now. The offense is doing really good. CeeDee Lamb is in his bag, man. I've been talking about for a while now. CeeDee Lamb really is not really being talked about, but he really is balling. He really, really is right now. I like what he's doing right now with that offense, man. Like I said, the defense is great. They can play Bland, if that's the corner name. They can play every single week, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's looking great, man. They're looking so right now. Yes, they are. Right now, the next couple of games, they got to play Buffalo next week. Then they got the Dolphins. Then they got to play Detroit, and then they got to play the Commanders. The beginning of the new year. So I believe they could possibly lose the next 3 out of the next 4 games. I think they really could. They could, but we'll just have to see. I think they play Buffalo today. So
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be interesting to watch. So yeah, this is going to be right now. They are. I still think the 49ers is the better team overall. They're the best team in football right now, but that's not that far from them. Monkey, what you got?
Are they for real? Sure. For now, until the playoffs hit, they need to get past that, one and done type deal moniker that they've been carrying around. As far as their rushing offense goes, they're really not doing all that bad. They are 11th in the league right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, yeah, Tony Pollard hasn't been doing as much as he was last year, but that's because they're also passing a lot more because Dak is actually performing like he should be with the money he's getting. The last few years, he's been kind of, he's made some questionable decisions and all that. Yep, Cowboys at Buffalo. And am I worried about today's game? I can see the Bills losing today. I'm not going to lie. I do see the Cowboys pulling out the win, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Bills won either. So take it for what it's worth. I haven't talked shit about the Cowboys much this year because, well, they've been playing well. You can't talk shit about a team if they're playing well. That's the same with the Ravens. I haven't talked shit about the Ravens because they've been playing like they're supposed to be playing, like they're expected to play. But the Cowboys are for real, but I still do not think they're going to beat the Niners. I think it's the Niners going all the way to the straight Super Bowl, barring injuries.
I'm going to move on our next topic today. I try is Minshew the best underrated pickup during the offseason? Monkey.
Yes. Everyone was sitting there laughing when they picked him up, but I'm telling you, I was behind Minshew. I knew that it would be a great pickup. He had veteran presence to be behind Richardson, and now that he's injured, he gets to take over and he gets to show that he's got skill, and he does. He is a system quarterback, which we'll get into later, but for all the knocks that Minshew has had over the years because of his stint in Philly is ridiculous. I mean, he played better than Trevor Lawrence did in his rookie year. They shouldn't have gotten rid of him. They should have kept Trevor Lawrence on the sideline for the rest of that year. They didn't do shit that year anyway. But Minshew, I think people aren't giving him enough credit. I think he is a lot better of a quarterback than people say he is. And he's proven it. I mean, he's winning them games. There are a few games where you can say if it wasn't for Minshew, they would have lost. So,
all right, let me ask you a question, Monkey, real quick before we move on. If Gardner Minshew would have started the season off, did their record be better than what it is right now? Even though it's good right now, did it be even better if he started week 1 over Richardson?
I think so, only because Richardson has this common rookie mistake where he neglects a part of the field. And it's hard to win games when you're only playing 2/3 of the field. He doesn't like to throw to the left at all. Like if you look at his throwing charts, it'll show you 90% of his passes are in the middle or to the right. And he always rolls out to the right. He does not like rolling out to the left. If you can force him to roll to the left and throw to the left, you're going to be successful at stopping him. If he could get past that and learn from it, he's going to be he's going to be all the better for it. But right now, if Minshew would have started the season, I bet they would still have a couple more wins in their pocket.
Probably right now. Okay. Michelle, what you got?
Yeah, I thought this was probably one of the smartest moves the franchise has made. I thought this was a low-key good pickup for Indianapolis because of the fact that they have a rookie quarterback, and they went with the rookie quarterback at the beginning of the season. I figured, well, if he starts and he plays well, then that's good. That's really good for the Colts. If he gets injured or plays bad, then you got Minshew, and Minshew's not a bad go-to person. And obviously, it's showing up now. Now, I'm not saying Minshew is, the best quarterback I've seen. He still has some work to do, but he's getting the Indianapolis Colts where they need to go. And that game against Pittsburgh, a couple games before that, he's just doing really well. He's fitting in that system well, and I don't think they're going to go far in the playoffs. They're just not that kind of, they don't have that kind of team build. But hey, if they get in the playoffs, you got to watch out for Indianapolis. They're an underrated team. You got to remember they won a game where they didn't have Jonathan Taylor. They don't have their starting quarterback, and they didn't have their starting wide receiver out there. So, and they still won. So you got to give Indianapolis props for that whole free agent signing right there.
And their O-line hasn't been the greatest this year either.
This is true.
As for me, man, I would say, yeah, man, I was actually on board with Gardner Minshew going to Indianapolis too, because you always want a veteran guy. When you got a rookie in like that, you always want to have somebody, a vet presence around there. Gardner Minshew has been playing really, really well for them, man. I think when Richardson was in, there wasn't going nowhere. The offense was moving how I expected it to, and they wasn't really winning games. But Gardner Minshew comes in, they winning games. Now the second in the division, they got 8 wins on the season, man. They came in at their own house against Pittsburgh and dominated. And behind Gardner Minshew make plays all day long, man. So yeah, I believe so, man. I don't think they keep doing what they're doing, man. I don't think they'll go far deep in postseason like Beatrice alluded to. But I think that's a team that could sneak you in the wild card and find a way to beat you. Like every day could be that team that like, damn, man, like they could sneak a win. But I'm not, man. I think that he is, man. I was on board with the Gardner Minshew idea. I was, man. It's benefiting. So I wonder what's this mean for Ed Richardson next year. Let's go back to Ed Richardson.
I think they'll stay with Anthony Richardson. I mean, they made that investment in the draft. They're going to keep going with him. I think they'll sign Minshew. They might sign Minshew again. They might sign him for. Does he have more than a 1 year? I don't even remember if he has got more than a 1 year.
They traded for him, right? It was free agency.
It was free agency. They picked him up.
Yeah, there might be 1 year.
If he's got more than 2 years, that's a good deal. If he only sign him for 1 year, then sign him again, because you never know what's going to happen.
Right.
And that's just good for Colts right now. That's just good for them.
He's on a 1 year deal.
Yeah, so just sign him again.
He earned the contract. He definitely has. All right. The big question is if Flacco can sustain play for the rest of the year, will he be picked up the quarterback needed team next year? You real funny. But yeah, there's nothing, yes. That's it. But he won't go in Pittsburgh. That's happening. But real funny. It reminds me of a lot of jabs. That's cool now. I hope you don't start falling. You know what I'm going to do to you.
I mean,
but I think he's earned it, yes. I think he'll be a vet somewhere, backup vet somewhere to some team that may need a vet presence in the area. He's still showing he's still got
as far as Flacco is considered and him playing well in Cleveland, I mean, his best team he played for was the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, it is.
Which are, the Cleveland Browns from yesteryear.
So,
Browns. I mean, right. And they do have similar offenses, or they used to. They like to run the ball. I mean, this year, Lamar has been throwing the ball exceptionally well. So I give him credit for that. But they have stereotypically, that, hard defense. It's an NFC or the AFC North thing. Hard hitting defenses, stingy defenses, and a run game. That has been the bread and butter of the AFC North since I can remember. Without the run game, their teams usually suck.
And just think about it. If Cleveland does well enough to get into the playoffs and they draw Baltimore in the playoffs, what do you think that's going to do to Flacco? Flacco's going to be like, wow, now I'm going to play the team that I won the Super Bowl with.
Yeah.
I don't think
that's going to be an awesome game.
I don't think Ravens fans want to see Joe Flacco in a Cleveland Browns uniform
in
the playoffs, man.
No.
Not with his record in the playoffs.
Especially the fact that Cleveland already beat them with Deshaun Watson at home.
Comeback fashion.
So that defense came in there to play, and Lamar didn't have a bad game, but he didn't have a good game either. So if you can limit Lamar, Cleveland is a team to do it. They've already beat him once at home. So
defense back to a very, very good defense back in them.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and move on with our next topic. This is actually an interesting topic. All right, y'all. Is there such thing as a system quarterback? Be sure.
Let me put this up here for you. I'm gonna do this first.
Okay. Put it down. All right, go ahead, be sure.
There you go, right there. It's a term used by ignorant people. Because, I mean, if you think about it, a system quarterback is every quarterback. Every quarterback plays in a system. Goff plays in a system. Josh Allen plays in a system. You know, Pickett plays in a system. All these quarterbacks play in a system. It's a system. And whether you flourish in there or not is based on really your offense and your court. It's everybody being on the same page. I'll put it to you like that. Okay. If everybody's on the same page and your quarterback's got decent receivers, a decent O-line, and a decent tight ends, I'm not talking about they could be top 15, all of that. As long as they have that flourishing in that system, a quarterback's going to be good. Joe Montana played in the system. He's a system quarterback. Walsh created that system. So, I mean, what's the point here? And Joe Montana, I mean, the players do put in emphasis. You do have to be a pretty good athlete to be in these systems. But when you got Jerry Rice on there, Craig, what's his name? Roger Craig.
Jonathan
You
Taylor.
got Jonathan Taylor. You got good ass players on your team. You're going to do so. Tom Brady's the same way. Tom Brady's a little bit different in his GOAT status, but Tom Brady still played in the system. He played in the system. That's all there is to it. I mean, all quarterbacks play in the system. So calling us a quarterback, and we're referring to Cam Newton, by the way, who thinks, a lot of times that the system quarterbacks or their quarterback managers, that's okay too, but they still win Super Bowls.
Trent Dilfer, perfect example.
Doug Williams didn't come from nowhere, had to fill in for Joe Theismann because Joe Theismann got lit up by Lawrence. Brad Johnson's another one. See, these
are Peyton Manning last Super Bowl. He ain't do shit last Super Bowl.
No, Peyton Manning's a system quarterback.
Yeah.
By definition, he's a system quarterback because if you take all his weapons away, that team ain't doing shit.
Yeah,
that's what they're trying to get at. Is if you took all their weapons away, would they still be able to succeed? Which is kind of a bullshit question because it's a loaded question. How many quarterbacks can do well without good receivers? I mean, even Brady needed help. And when he didn't have the receivers, they won, but that was because of the defense. The defense was always there to help him stay, keep the other team's offense out of it. So Brady was able to take more shots on the field and take more risk and not worry about the outcome. It just so happened that his players would be able to make plays. I mean, look what happened when Randy Moss left.
Can we say that, Brandon, though? Can we say this, though? I mean, do you see a lot of quarterbacks that switch out of their system when it's successful? Nope, I don't. Joe Montana was probably the only one one of the ones that did that, went to Kansas City. But, Kansas City was running the same system the 49ers were running. So, I don't believe in that. I think good quarterbacks are good when they have a system around them. Just like Goff. Everybody knew what Goff needed when he came to the Lions. He needed a running game, he needed protection, and he needed good receivers to throw to. He's got all that. Look what Goff is doing. If you took that away from Goff, and I see to the point that you're saying, I do see the point that you're saying, better quarterbacks make things work when they don't have shit at their disposal all the time. I understand that. But it's still a system quarterback, no matter what.
Yeah.
Look at Patrick Mahomes.
I was about to say that. I was just about to say that. Patrick Mahomes.
He's done great because he had Hill and he had wide receivers. He had weapons. This year he has Kelsey.
Yeah.
And Tony, Mr. Drop a Lot. But I mean, seriously, all they do is drop passes. So it's making Mahomes look like a bad quarterback by statistic wise. We all know that he's not a bad quarterback. We know he's the best quarterback in the league in the past few years. There's no denying that. But even he's a system quarterback, and this is what's proving it, is because by definition of everybody else. And I'm sick of hearing system quarterback as a knock, because if you're flourishing in that system and you're being successful, that's the whole point at the end of the day, is to be successful.
Right.
Your stats don't fucking matter. It doesn't matter if you're only completing dink and dunk passes down the field. If it works, it works.
It works.
The Niners are making it work. Brock Purdy is making it work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he has those weapons, and we've seen what happens when he loses that weapons. They lose.
Right.
Which makes him a system quarterback.
Great system.
But when the system is running on all cylinders and nobody's injured, look what they're doing. They're dominating, completely dominating. And you have to respect Brock Purdy for that, no matter who you are. I don't care if you hate the man because he's a Niners quarterback and you're a Seattle fan, a Rams fan. It don't matter. The fact of the matter is you need to put some respect with his name for what he has done. Because system quarterback or none, he still has to throw that ball, and he still has to be accurate. It doesn't matter how far he's throwing that ball. You still have to be accurate regardless. Because if you're not accurate throwing them dink and dunk passes, you're looking at a pick six.
I'm glad you said that, because that's exactly what makes some quarterbacks really good in a system and some quarterbacks really bad in the system. It's all about accuracy. That's what you get them out of college for, is their accuracy, their arm strength, their ability to move on a run and think on a run. Those are the reasons why you get that. So you fit in that scheme. I understand, Brandon said Michael Vick did it. Yeah, Michael Vick is a freak, first of all. Second of all, I don't think that the systems that he fit in the systems. I think the systems fit into him, because when he got there, they knew what they were getting when they got Michael Vick. When they were in Philadelphia, he's a run first. He was one of the first run first quarterbacks. He'll run out there real quick on your ass because he's fast. The dude was like 100 in Madden. You know what I'm saying? So the dude is fast. So you build your system around the quarterback. That happens, but it's still a system. So regardless of whatever quarterback or wherever you're playing at, Mahomes, and this is another true statement too, you got, Andy Reid is adaptable. He does change his schemes, but it still fits in the system of the schemes. So Patrick Mahomes fits in that. He can't help it if his receivers can't catch. That's not his fault.
Right.
That's the receiver's fault. The receivers are not fitting in the scheme of things. So if it hits them in their hand, they're dropping the damn ball. That's on the damn receivers.
If you can touch it, you can catch it. But
exactly,
like, look at Lamar Jackson. When he was drafted by the Baltimore Ravens, John Harbaugh changed the scheme and style play of that whole entire offense just to fit around Lamar Jackson. Now, if you take Lamar Jackson out of that system and put him in a system like, I don't know, the Packers or the Lions, he's not going to do as well, because those teams are not built around him to be successful. It would take a few years to get those teams adaptable to his playmaking abilities. Those are the quarterbacks we have named that have been successful system quarterbacks. But like, you got ones like Teddy Bridgewater. He was a system quarterback. Casey Keenum, he was a system quarterback. Yeah. I mean, he did well both of them did well in Minnesota that year. And, with injuries, whatnot, but they were still able to produce. They did, no matter who the Vikings put in as a quarterback that year, they were winning games. And they went through like 3 quarterbacks that year, I think. But it all depends, man. I mean, like, Andre Ware back in 1989 won the Heisman Trophy. Yeah, I know you're shaking your head because y'all drafted him. But he was he was supposed to be a really good quarterback coming out of college. He didn't fit the Lions system.
Because he wasn't that kind of a system quarterback. This is what I'm trying to tell. This is what I'm trying to tell Brandon. Yeah, Joey Harrington was a spread quarterback, but Detroit Lions didn't have a spread system. Sometimes bad teams make bad decisions on drafting quarterback just because they're the hottest thing coming out of college. That is not how you do it. That's not how you do it. If you got a system that you're running, you got to make sure that the quarterback that you draft is fitting into your system. If they're a pro ready quarterback, then you can be able to put them in better systems. If you got a quarterback that plays a certain way, he is not going to be able to fit in that system. I mean, if he's a good quarterback, he might be able to fit in that system, but he's got to be. You got to show those kind of traits to get drafted into that system. This whole thing, the system is. I don't think the Lions coaching didn't fail where failed. They just the whole Lions organization failed where because
Andre
they
Ware
drafted
failed Andre Ware.
Yeah, Andre Ware wasn't what the Lions needed as a quarterback at the time. He's just not. So,
just help see the change.
What point did I make for you? You're missing the point. There's no such thing as a system quarterback. Everybody plays in the system. Everybody plays in the system.
There was an article yesterday that I was reading about system quarterbacks, and it literally says that basically every quarterback that comes into the draft starts off as a system quarterback because of what they did in college. Most college systems are ran with a spread offense nowadays. If you look at Andre Ware, he was another one that was a spread offense college player. But if you run a spread offense in the NFL, fine. But if you're not running a spread offense and you grab a quarterback that has only played in a spread offense, there's going to be a learning curve. And if you don't respect that learning curve, you're going to end up with a draft bust. You're not helping your quarterback out whatsoever. If you draft a quarterback that doesn't fit your system, you're not helping him. You're not helping you. You just wasted a draft pick.
Exactly. And like this, I understand here that was the problem. It doesn't make the system quarterback fits into a system that the team is running. Okay, so if Harrington is a system quarterback, as you call it, one system, he plays one certain offense. So every team has one certain offense that they play. A lot of basic things are the same in all teams, but Harrington is a system quarterback in college. You can't put him into you got to put him into the same system in the pro as the same way. He wasn't with the Lions. Another bad draft pick by the Lions was Harrington. Harrington, he was the best Oregon quarterback to come out, blah, 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 blah. And exactly, we're all in the hype. And then they drafted him, and he turned out to be a damn dud. His best thing was being a damn piano player. But anyway, the matter is,
piano man.
He wasn't fitting into the system that you have. You do have quarterbacks that are quote unquote system, but that comes from the college that they played from. If they're playing a certain way in college, that's the system that they play in. If you draft them and you're trying to play them into another system, it doesn't make a difference how good of a player that you are. You know, you ain't going to fit in that. Either you're going to adapt and overcome or not make it. And 9 out of 10 times, you're not going to make it because it's not your system. You don't understand that. There's different route runnings in different systems. You have to understand all that. It's a process of studying. And if you're not used to that coming out of college and you're used to one thing, it's hard to adapt to that.
And as far as Kenny Pickett is considered, that system is not a good fit for Kenny Pickett anyway. When you look at his college tape and everything, bro, they're not letting him play like he did in college. They're like restraining him from doing what he wants to do, and I think that is the biggest problem with Kenny Pickett in the Steelers system. But like Ryan says, the Steelers system is kind of busted. It really is. You guys are hot trash right now. I ain't gonna lie. You know, but that's to be expected when you guys didn't want to get rid of your offensive coordinator until halfway through this year. And now you guys are rummaging around just trying to fill in the spot for the year and say, well, this, next, offseason we'll pick up a prolific coordinator. If they're serious about growing Kenny into a real starting quarterback, they need a good offensive coordinator that is quarterback friendly, and keep that in mind, because Since he's been drafted, his learning curve has been on a plateau because he can't. They're not helping him learn.
Let me address Ryan real quick. I'll get it, Ryan. You hyped on the fact your team looking good and my team looking bad. But let me get your rat bird ass back into reality. First of all, we gotta remember Matt Kenny was there before Kenny got there. Okay, he had been last 2 years because he was Matt Kenny was there 4 years. So been with us for the last. He had been for the last 3 years. They didn't do nothing with that. He was all Matt Kenny wanted to do was run the ball and run digging ducks all game long.
Same offense. The same offensive plays repeatedly.
Repeatedly over and over and over. How do you expect Kenny Pickett to develop over that? He look at Kenny Pickett college numbers. He was not playing like that. Look at the numbers. He was third and voted in the Heisman Trophy his last year before he was drafted. He was throwing the ball. He threw for the most TDs in that college history, for college school history. So I know what you're talking. How you expect him to develop? How you expect him to impact with somebody that's dinking, dunking every single play, running dumbass jet sweeps, wildcats every single time we turn the ball around? What are you talking about?
And that's just like the Ravens and their OC. They got rid of them this past year.
Perfect example. Greg Roman. Same thing. What are you talking about? Just because Matt Canada is gone doesn't mean we're not still running his same offense. I think Kenny needs somebody that's a passive friendly type of quarterback. That's what he needs. The fact that we was running digging dunks and running jet sweeps and fucking screens every single play not gonna help Kenny Pickett develop. He was coached up under a bad system and Matt Kennedy's offense. Even though Matt Kennedy's gone, yes, he's gone, but we're still running his offense. He needs somebody that's pass friendly.
And as far as this comment right here, no, we all expected more from Lamar because Lamar, after he got drafted, said, "Oh, I'm gonna win the Ravens a Super Bowl within the first 5 years." By the way, he lied. I just want to point that out.
I'm giving Kenny Pickett one more year, and hopefully I'm hoping that we get another OC that's pass friendly. Because that's what Kenny Pickett is. He needs to be able to throw the ball. And we
always gotta give, especially quarterbacks, you gotta give them 3 years to develop.
Exactly.
In today's game, man, not a lot of players can come out of college and start balling out. Yeah, you have at least one or two every year that is a rookie sensation. Okay, cool, but after that rookie year, you see them, digress. Like.
And then
what the hell happened? Look at Najee. Look at Najee. He did great his rookie year.
Yeah.
And what the fuck happened? Like I don't know. Did he get lazy in the offseason and gain some poundage the wrong way or what?
All right. So with Najee Harris, man, with that right there, I'm glad you brought that up. Monkey. With that, his first year he struggled, and that was his fault because he had a bad line. He had 1,000 yards. He made the Pro Bowl year. The second year he had 1,000 yards again, but he struggled because the offensive line was great. He had more chaos, over 300 plus carries before he even got to 1,000. But that wasn't all his fault. It was just the offensive line. I feel like, and I kept saying to myself, like, it's the fact that we had bad offensive line for the last 2 years. He still was able to rush for 1,000 yards. I always wondered what he could do if he had a great line. Now, the line has got a little bit better. They're not where we wanted to be. He's got a little bit better, and he's still struggling. I feel like it's a lot of, and he lacks explosiveness. He lacks burst. I feel like he has too much mass. I feel like he has too much body mass. I think he needs to drop weight. He's losing.
He seems to want to dance in the back before hitting that fucking hole too. I mean, what he reminds me of is C.J. Spiller. He reminds me of C.J. Spiller because C.J. Spiller had a few good years in the beginning of the season with the Bills, and then he started doing the same thing with the happy feet and not hitting the holes right away. He wanted to sit there and try to make a big play every play, and that was the downfall of C.J. Spiller. And it looks like Najee's doing the exact same thing. Like he's trying to score on every play. You got to get what the defense gives you and be happy with it. Don't be extra.
You see when Jalen Warren touched that ball, he's supposed to. He burst. He's gone. He's gone. His energy's there. Not just, I feel like he got too much muscle mass on him. I really think he needs to draw weight. Le'Veon Bell was right. I think you need to slim down. That's what Le'Veon Bell had to do. His first year, he was a little bit away. He dropped like 10, 15 pounds. And probably had a great year. I think Najee had to do. He lacked burst. He lacked explosion, man. But I feel like, but back to Ryan's situation where us need a new quarterback. I want to remind y'all, maybe right now, Kenny Pickett. I think, like I told everybody, he's a little bit better than Mitch Trubisky, he's a little bit better than Mason, but he's not much better than any better either. So I want to remind y'all, since he entered the league, he had the most fourth quarter game winners in the league right now since he's been drafted with 8. So he showed he can win games. But he was up under a piss poor offensive play calling. They don't know how to score points. Don't know how to run the correct plays. Offensive line has to get a lot better. There's a lot of things going on with Kenny Pickett surrounding him. There's a lot going on. And like I said, even though Matt Kennedy's gone, we're still running the same off. We're taking the here and there. It's still not enough, man. So I'm hoping I'm gonna give Kenny Pickett one more year to try to prove that he could be the quarterback. Because if I'm not mistaken, if I correct me if I'm wrong, Monkey, but Josh Allen's first 2 years wasn't great.
Your first year sucked ass.
Yeah, he wasn't great. And look what happened. He developed and flourished. They gave him a chance, opportunity. Third year, he really showed.
Third year, he fucking balled out, and he hasn't stopped.
See what I'm saying? So I'm gonna give him one more year. Hopefully, we get a pass-friendly coordinator that not throw the ball. We got playmakers. We got playmakers. We do. But we haven't shown them. We haven't got a chance to show it. So hopefully, we find an offensive coordinator that's pass-friendly. We get his, be able to score points, be able to run the ball, and get the offensive line better. Let me see Ryan's last comment. He said, "Big dog, you're my homie. I always respect you. You know that. But y'all got 3. But y'all quarterback at best. Yeah, as of right now, yeah, we do. But it was up on a bad OC as well. So hopefully we get a fresh start, and a fresh coordinator. I think we'll be fine. So he got one more year with me. One more.
Well, that's what I'm saying. This is exactly what I'm saying about system quarterbacks. Okay, Kenny Pickett did not play this offense at Pitt. Okay,
no,
different offense. So when you draft him as Pittsburgh as an organization, this is where the organizations make or break their organization as far as getting in the playoffs and stuff. When you draft a quarterback and you know that the offense is going to be that's not the offense he plays in, but you still draft him anyway. To me, when Pittsburgh drafted Kenny, I thought that was a desperation move to get a quarterback, and that I don't think that was the right decision for them to do. And they got Kenny Pickett. They didn't want to make the ghost decision like they did last time with Dan Marino. That's not a judgment you should have as a general manager of a football team. You shouldn't do that. You should get the best player that fits your system. So if you don't have the best player to fit your system, you get results like you're getting right now with Pittsburgh and their offense. They got the pieces on that offense. They got 2 great tight ends. Well, one that's developing, but one that's already good. You got decent receivers. Deontay, even though they act like jackasses sometimes, but they still are good receivers. Your offensive line is building. You got 2 black and blue receivers. What I mean running backs. What I mean by you got Harris that can punish you through there. You got Jalen that can run to the outside. You got and Kenny Pickett's not a bad receiver. Bad quarterback, but he's just not on a good system of a offense, and that's what they need to change. Either you're going to build around your quarterback or don't have him on the team at all. Just find something else that you can do. Is it the fact that it's Justin Fields? I can't say that.
Okay. So real quick before we move on, this is a good topic. Don't worry, this is a good. I appreciate the topic. Real quick, let me address this real quick. So if anything, the Steelers head coach let them down by not making the system fit. I actually agree with you with this, Ryan. We kept Matt Canada for 4 years, and we knew how bad he was. We knew that we kept him around, so it didn't help. So it haven't benefited Kenny Pickett. So that's why Ryan Kenny Pickett has been playing when we know he could be. If you look at his numbers last year college, man, he was third in voting Heisman Trophy winner. They played third. He threw over 4,000. He threw over 40 TDs. He needs somebody. This is something we've been crying about forever. We want to be able to throw the ball deep. We've been saying that for a while. Even Claypool was even saying that before he was traded. He says something about Matt Canada, and he want to get traded. We're not taking enough deep shots, but you wasn't great at it anyway. But the point was we needed to give him an opportunity to throw the ball down deep. He wasn't able to do it. We've been saying this for a while now. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like he just needs a pass-friendly OC, but that's not afraid to throw the ball. Kenny Pickett is not afraid to throw the ball. He just adjusted to the system that we had because Kenny didn't do anything better with Roethlisberger, even though Roethlisberger was exiting anyway, but he didn't do anything. And Mick wasn't a fan of Matt Canada either because all he wanted to do was dig and dunk, slant routes all damn day. The fucking jet sweeps, they fucking screens over and over and over. So look what Kenny didn't walk. He didn't have that offense in college. He didn't have that. He needed to be able to throw the ball. That's what he's good at. We haven't got a chance to get an opportunity to do so. So hopefully, I'm praying next year we find out OC that's pass friendly to Kenny Pickett liking.
To be honest with you, not a bad pickup, and you may all laugh about this or whatnot, but I think Ken Dorsey would do him a good job.
Pass friendly.
Statistically, Ken Dorsey did just as well as Brian Dable did over here in Buffalo. If you go look at their stats on how well the Bills did, they even did a little bit better under Dorsey. It's the play calling that would in crucial moments of the game is what got Ken Dorsey. So if Ken Dorsey can fix that, he would be a really good offensive coordinator. And he is quarterback friendly. And I think he could really help develop Pickett because he helped develop Allen with Dable, and he look what happened.
Yeah,
I mean, you got to look at you got to look at it like this too. Your team is developed about what you have as players in skill positions. If Canada was still your offensive coordinator, Justin Fields would make a better sense than having Kenny Pickett because you need a running quarterback in his system, kind of like Lamar in the system that he's not in that system anymore, but the last system he was in, they expected the quarterback to run more. Yeah. And that's the whole difference. Now, your team is not built to have a running quarterback. Your team is built to have an athletic quarterback that can get out of situations and stay mostly in a pocket and throw down the field. But that's not what your offense is dictating right now. So you need somebody to come in there and build that offense around those skilled players and Kenny Pickett. So and that's the thing I was telling them. I was like, well, why in the hell didn't you get rid of Matt Canada as soon as they drafted Kenny Pickett? Because he's not the offensive coordinator for him. He's not. And the fact that he was in college, being his offensive coordinator at Pitt and didn't get any success, and when he left, Kenny Pickett sprouted. That tells you a whole bunch right there. Exactly. These are things that and again, these are things that the organization should have saw too. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand what the hell. I don't know what was going on with Pittsburgh when they did that. So
they should have known. Well, like I said, like I said, upon the Ben last couple of years, all we did was dig and dunk. Slant routes, all we did. They tried to run the ball. That's all we did. But I wanna point this out. I want to remind you that Kenny Pickett was ACC Player of the Year after Matt Canada was gone. Right? I want to remind everybody of that. I want to remind you of that. It threw for over 4,000 yards, and he had I want to say 42 TDs and 7 interceptions. I want to remind you guys of that as well. So I'm hoping that we find like Ken Dorsey, Brian Leftwich, somebody that's on my mind, Todd Haley. I'll bring back. I even try.
He wants Brian Leftwich, so
I'm so bad. So bad. But look what he did with Tom Brady the last 2 years. Look what he did.
That's Tom Brady, though. That's Tom Brady. You really can't do much with Tom Brady. Tom Brady probably was telling me, you know what, Byron, I love you, man, but you got to stay your ass on the sidelines. Let me handle this shit.
But even when Tom Brady had a bad, his last year was bad, and they blamed Brian Leftwich. They fired Brian Leftwich like it was his fault. It wasn't. But they're not going to fire Tom Brady. It wasn't Brian Leftwich's fault.
I want to go back to Brandon Lemon's one comment. It says, on the flip side, I believe a quarterback can evolve from a so-called system quarterback into a great quarterback. That's on that player's level of dedication and determination, accompanied by the organization's proper development of said player. Yes and no. A system quarterback, a so-called system quarterback, doesn't mean he's not a great quarterback. He's great in a certain system. Like Brock Purdy's being, he is playing great in that system. So people keep thinking a system quarterback is a knock on quarterbacks, and I don't get it, because if they're like I said before, if they're playing well, if they're playing good and they're winning games, they win a Super Bowl, do you really have much room to bitch about if he's a system quarterback or not? Doesn't matter. As long as they win, it shouldn't matter. Now, if they were going to get rid of Brock Purdy, say Brock Purdy, they were going to trade him away like they did Trey Lance. That would be a bad idea for Brock Purdy if he didn't go into a system that was similar to San Francisco's. Then you'd be able to say, well, he's not a great quarterback. Well, yeah, because he's not in that system. That's why what they mean by system quarterback. They do great in certain systems and not in others. Can certain system quarterbacks evolve into knowing other systems? Sure. But that system that they know, that they learned on and developed in to make them such a prolific ball player, that's their bread and butter system. You want every player to be great. You want them to fit in that same system. You don't want to draft a quarterback from a spread offense system and a running back from a pro set system, and or whatever system. You don't want to mix and match them. You want them to be similar in that same one if you want success. If you need those players to learn that system to be successful, you're going to have your bumps and bruises and your growing pains. And your team is not going to be very successful within a year or two. It's going to take 3, 4, or 5 years to develop. Some think that's a waste of time. That's too much time to put into development. Well, if you don't, then you're never going to develop, and you're going to end up being ass every year. So you could take your pick on which one you want to be. You want to be a mediocre team that barely stays above 500, Mike Tomlin, or do you want to fucking do something? That's what it comes down to. Is the choice is theirs to make, and if they don't want to make it, that's their problem.
And one last thing on this topic. I understand that, Brandon, but how many quarterbacks are Lamar in years? This is the first quarterback that can actually pass the ball and run the ball effectively. Michael Vick didn't have that. Michael Vick was fast. He could pass the ball, but he wasn't as accurate as Lamar is. I think Lamar is a very accurate quarterback if you give him the space to be that way. But Lamar is like a different type of person. He is a freakish athlete, dude. And that's the thing that I don't like about when Baltimore had their previous coordinator. They were just making him run. That's not what Lamar is. Lamar is the best of both worlds. You got to teach him to throw the pass first. If there's nothing like this year, he's doing an excellent job of his position. Excellent job. This is an MVP season for him.
Lamar is the most athletic player in the NFL, in my opinion.
Okay, we do got to move on, y'all. We do got this is a great topic. We do got to move on, y'all. That was a good topic. I appreciate that. Let's go right into Monkey's trivia number 2.
All right. If my phone will turn on, here we go. So, Jake Browning is only the second quarterback since 1950 to complete 70% of his passes in his first 3 career starts. Who was the first quarterback to do it?
Yeah, it's crazy. I seen that one too. That's the crazy part. I seen that. They were just talking about that earlier. Damn.
And I can tell you right now, it's no Hall of Fame quarterback ever. No, he'll never be in a Hall of Fame.
Ryan Fitzpatrick?
Nope.
I seen it.
Say the question one more time.
Jake Browning is only the second quarterback since 1950 to complete 70% of his passes in his first 3 career starts. Who was the first quarterback to do so? And I want to point out the reason why a lot of these questions say since 1950 and not be prior to that is most stats were recorded until 1950. I wanted to point that out because some people have asked me about that. Why do you always say since 1950? Well, that's why.
Dang, I just seen this guy. Can we get a hint?
Played for the Jets in 2002.
Sanchez?
Mark Sanchez?
What's that?
Mark Sanchez?
No.
Hey, who was the? Oh man,
before Sanchez.
That's Testaverde?
No.
Hey, who was the quarterback in 2002? Oh,
I think he was after Testaverde.
Damn.
After Testaverde, before Sanchez, I do believe that's how that went.
Damn, who was the Jets quarterback?
Jets quarterbacks, man.
Right.
Let's put it this way: he had a knack for not being able to throw a deep ball because he injured his shoulder.
I don't remember too many Jets quarterbacks. I ain't gonna lie. I know some, but I mean, damn.
Yeah, still not lighting the fire in there.
Yeah, I get to what is it? We don't know.
Robbie got it. It's Chad Pennington.
John Pennington? Oh, wow.
Google is your friend.
All right, we got that one. All right, Charles, go ahead and move on with our next topic. All right, Charles, the Eagles in trouble. Yes. And here's why. You sit here, a lot of y'all Eagles fans rapping and raving about y'all 10-1 start. I was all happy about that. And I have my homeboy Bone, he was supposed to be on the show this week, but he didn't get to make it. So hopefully next week he'll be able to. The Eagles' bread and butter is play action. How you run play action? By running the ball effectively. That's how you do it. And if they don't, they lose. So their last two games was against tough teams, the 49ers and then with the Cowboys. I told my homeboy Bone, I said, hey, don't let them shut down that running game. Because if they do, you're done for. Your bread and butter is play action. That's how y'all effective. Y'all passing is effective in the most games. When you're able to run the ball successfully. When you don't, struggle. That following that game, this is a revenge game tour for the 49ers as well. The 49ers was number one against the run. I told them, if y'all find a way to try to run this game, run the ball somehow, you ain't winning this game. I tried to tell him. He didn't want to listen. I would admit the 49ers team players was talking shit prior to this game for a good reason. You heard the quarterback in that playoff game for obvious reasons. So, you know, they wanted – this is the revenge tour for them. And I told him, be careful. The 49ers is a really good team, man. And he didn't believe me. And what the 49ers do, they shut the run game down. I think they lead in rusher with Jalen Hurts, 7 carries for 20 yards that game. The second with DeAndre Swift, 6 carries for 13 yards. Even Mariota tried to run the ball. He was 2 for 6. Gainwell, 2 for 5. Ball Scott, 1 for 2. They shut that running game down. And we shut the running game down, you forced Jalen Hurts to do what? Throw the ball. He threw the ball that game 45 times. That's not Jalen's play calling. That's not his MO. That's not what he does. And they were able to shut him down. So they did okay with the passing, but it wasn't enough. Because like I said, when you can run the ball effectively, the 49ers were able to come in the game and punch out right in the mouth. It's very difficult to stop CMC. When Deebo Samuels is going off as well, it's a tough ask. I feel like in that game, I feel like the third and fourth quarter, really in the fourth quarter, the Philadelphia Eagles gave up. Then they went to bitch them on about they didn't get enough time to rest. Well, that's cool. You had a whole 10 days to rest for the Dallas Cowboys. Right, the following week. Yeah, we had rest then. And what happened there?
Got blew out.
Would you ever run the ball effectively that game? Nope. DeAndre Swift, 11 carries for 39 yards. Jalen Hurts, 5 carries for 30. Gainwell, 4 for 26. Bar Scott, 3 for 9. 3 guys for 9. You see the pattern here? When the play action is not working effectively, you won't be effective. Their bread and butter is play action. And what the Dallas Cowboys were able to do? Shut the run game down for Jalen Hurts to throw the ball. He was 18 for 27, no TDs. Granted, no interceptions either. It was ineffective. When you shut the play, they bread and butter down, they're so hard to do anything. They was able to do anything. Old man Gilmore shut A.J. Brown down. Whether you want to believe it or not, he couldn't do anything. Couldn't do a soul. Couldn't do anything. And Dallas Cowboys came in and did exactly what they wanted to do. Dak Prescott was on fire. The running game was stellar. And it's only going to get worse from here. I try to tell them, when you 10-1, all that pressure, man. When you keep winning like that, the expectations get higher and higher and higher and higher. Prime example: 3 years ago, Pittsburgh Steelers started off 11-0. When you keep winning like that, the expectations get higher. You got to keep winning. You can't stop. The motor can't stop. Then we lose to Washington, and we want to lose in 3 of the last 4. And the pressure is on. When you win like that, you have got to keep winning. And when you don't, man, you in some real shit. And I really think they are in trouble right now. I think they are. Let me look at the next couple of games real quick. I'll pass it over. Look at the Philadelphia next schedule. Next, they got to play Seattle, which could be a game for them. They could possibly be a track game. Matter of fact, I'll say that way. The Seattle game on Monday night could be a game they could potentially lose. That Giants game could potentially be a track game for them. Cardinals game, and they got to play the Giants again. They could probably lose 2 of the next 4. I think they could. But I think they are in trouble now. I think they are, because they're coming to be exposed now. You shut that play action down, they're in trouble. Be sure what you
got. I think that I don't know if they're so much in trouble, but they need to address some things that, the running game is an issue too for the play action. I also think that the elephant in the room is the defense. The secondary is not playing good at all. Their defense that's so lauded in getting in stopping people is not doing their job. Their defense is getting bad.
Slay's injured, ain't he?
Well, he is this week. Yeah, he had some surgical arthroscopic surgery on his elbow, I think it was, or something like that. So he'll be out this game. Also, Jalen Hurts just came over the ticker, is downgraded to questionable because he has a sickness right now, so he might not be playing on Monday.
That's not good. He's my fantasy quarterback.
Even then, with all that being said, Philadelphia has the makings of being a very good team. I think also they're going through the offensive and defensive coordinator thing because these are not the same offensive and defensive coordinators they had last year when they went to the Super Bowl. These are different, and so they're ebbing and flowing with that whole situation too. And I agree with teams do have different things going on during the course of the season. We saw it with San Francisco. You even saw it with Dallas. You see it with Detroit. You see it with Buffalo. You see it with these good teams. That's why it's so hard to be undefeated in a season because you're going to go through those situations, 3-game skids that, you're not playing your best football, whatever the thing is. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, it's either a whole team thing, the quarterback's not playing well, the offensive line's not playing, whatever the case may be, you're going to go through those ebbs and flows throughout the season. It's when you come out of them, are you going to be able to sustain that? And we saw San Francisco do that. We saw Dallas is playing really good right now. Buffalo, since the offensive coordinators struggle that they had, they're doing better. I think this is going to start for the Lions too. They win this Denver game. I think they're going to start getting better as well. Sometimes you just got to have those moments where it's like, you know what? We really ain't the shit because people are beating our ass. So let's get out of that funk. And I think that's going to take Philadelphia a little bit of time to do too. So I don't know if it's going to happen with the Seattle game. I don't know what the struggles are going to be with that whole situation. But they need to start getting their stuff together quicker. They're going to lose their first round of the playoffs. They're going to be like Dallas. They're going to be like Dallas last year. All that hype, and then they get beat out in the first round. So I don't want to say that could happen, but they need to get their head out their ass.
Yeah, before Monkey goes, they said Jalen Hurts expected to travel and play Monday night. And Tyreek Hill is now out now. He's not going to be playing again.
Yeah.
All right, Monkey, go ahead.
As far as the playoffs are considered, they are not in trouble. They could lose out and still be in the playoffs, whatever. But you can't go in the playoffs with a 2 or 3 game losing streak because that's gonna drop the morale of your team. They're not good. They're gonna be questioning themselves. But if the Eagles can stay true to themselves, I don't think they will be in trouble. I still don't think they'll get. I like I said, I don't think anybody is going to get past San Francisco this year, regardless of when they play them. They could be the second week, the divisional round, the NFC Championship. It doesn't matter. They're not getting beat barring injuries. Philly is a great team. They're going through some stuff. Is it a big deal? No, I don't think it's a big deal at all. I mean, but like I said, if they do lose the majority of the games they have left of the season, then I would be worried about them as far as their playoff push goes.
Real quick, I feel like they're really more in trouble because they won't have home field advantage. They put themselves out of that position when they lost these back-to-back games. I told my homeboy Bone, you can't lose these games. These 2 games you don't want to lose, man, because you already lost the 49ers, so you backed up a little bit, and then you go around trying to lose Dallas, and now that knocks you all the way out. Now you in the wild card area now. And the 49ers, I don't think nobody, like you said, I don't think nobody beat the 49ers. No, I don't care who you are. I don't think Dallas will do it.
I don't even want the Bills to go to the Super Bowl because if the Bills go to the Super Bowl and have to face the Niners, the Niners are going to mop the floor with the Bills, and the Bills will be 0-5 in the Super Bowl, and then I'll never hear the end of that.
At any point in time, the Eagles have to run it. If the Eagles on Dallas have to run to the 49ers, you're done for. And I don't know. Right now, they're losing right now. Like the Eagles right now, have those back-to-back losses. Monday night is a game you definitely don't want to lose. It's not the right time. You want to build them around right now. I think them at the post. I believe they will at the post. But it could potentially be one and done if this continues. Right now, the identity is exposed right now. Right now, the play action right now is being exposed right now. The teams are shutting it down. They know what they have to do to stop this team. Shut the running game down. They can't do anything. Look at the games when they do the running game is effective. Look what they're able to do. But when it's not, last game it has not been effective. And look what's happening. Becoming exposed. I told my over bone that, man. That play action, man. We know that's your bread and butter. Everybody knows that's your bread and butter. Shut the running game down. For Jalen Hurts to throw the ball. He's not that quarterback to just sit in the pocket and throw the ball there. It's not his MO. So that's why I feel like they're in trouble. So Monday night, we really would determine where they go from here. But they really messed up by losing those last two games.
And it's not like Philadelphia was killing teams before that.
No.
Right.
All this hype about them and having the best defense and the best offensive line and getting DeAndre Swift and having A.J. Brown on there.
The Bills are running all over them.
Yeah,
the Bills are running all over that number one rush defense.
They're not winning games convincingly. They're winning. They had 2 shootouts with Washington. That tells you everything you need to know. Yeah, I know it's a division opponent. Washington is not a very good team. For Washington to be even in these games with Philadelphia tells you right there that Philadelphia is having some issues. I think they're one of the worst 10-3 teams now. So I don't know if they're going to be able to flourish in the playoffs. I don't know if that's going to happen.
I don't like judging them on their divisional rival games because you know how divisional games go, man. They could go either way. It doesn't matter what your record is. I understand the Commanders suck ass, but the Commanders they usually do give the Eagles a hard time.
Hey,
no matter what their record is.
And that's how I knew the tables was going to turn for the Philadelphia Eagles. Because you look at the 2 games prior, you escaped 2 games you should have lost.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Mahomes threw the ball at MSV, put it right in his hands, and he dropped it. That's the only reason you lost that. They lost that game. And then because Josh Allen threw it outside to the inside, he threw it inside, the game's over. He's missed them. And you escaped 2. So I told my boy, yeah, you escaped 2 games. And both times with them, you know what he said to me? Thank God, both weeks. Why you say thank God for? Because you knew. If you caught that ball, that touchdown, that pass, you lost. Josh Allen throws it inside to the outside, you lose that game. And then look what happened against the 49ers, look what happened against the Dallas Cowboys.
They could have easily lost 4 games right there in a row.
Easily lost 4 games. Easy. That's how I knew. So don't lose Monday night. Don't lose. Because you're already in hell already. You already get up your first round spot. So, hey, man, it's tough, man. But let's go ahead and move on with our next topic.
Don't be funny, Brandon.
All right. All right, y'all. Cincinnati and the Rams postseason. Well, I think Cincinnati got a little bit more chance than the Rams do. I think. In the scenario from let me look at it real quick.
The Cincinnati already won their game today.
And
the Rams are playing Washington, so that's a win, I think, for the Rams, as long as everybody's healthy. Really, the key for the Rams is they got to stay healthy. If either one of those receivers go down, it's going to be over, right? Because they're playing at the best that they can play with everybody that they have. With Cincinnati is playing out their mind with a backup quarterback. Yeah. But they lost DJ Reader for the rest of the year. Yeah. That's going to hurt.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
And then they got to play Pittsburgh next in Pittsburgh. And I know, John, that you say, oh, well, that should be a win. But, again, to what Kevin said, it is a divisional game. People get up on their divisional games, and it's in Pittsburgh. So we'll see. And then who do the Rams play after that? They play what is it?
Steelers are going to have that, spoiler team.
Oh, the Rams play the Saints
persona
the next game, so that's a win.
Or at least it should be.
It should be.
It's at home. It's another game that's at home. Let's see, and then Cincinnati plays. The Rams play the Giants in the Meadowlands, the New Jersey Giants in the Meadowlands, and then Cincinnati then plays the KC Chiefs. That probably will be the day. That'll probably be the day Cincinnati gets put out the playoffs right there. I don't know. Depends what Kansas City team shows up. People been beating Kansas City at home. It ain't hard to do. It looks like so. That's on the table. Then the next game that they have, both of them have the last game of the season. The Rams play San Francisco. Rams ain't winning that game. I don't care. San Francisco's already got it wrapped up. Ain't winning that game. San Francisco, it's a division type opponent too. Hell no. Let's see. Cincinnati is playing Cleveland. So those are 2 division games that they have to win, basically, for me to see them making the playoff. Rams got a better shot than Cincinnati due to what Cincinnati is going through right now, down the second string quarterback and DJ Reader. Rams have an experienced quarterback playing. They still got Aaron Donald out there. Like I said, as long as everybody stays healthy, Rams have a better chance to me to making a playoffs than Cincinnati. So we'll just see what happens.
I think it comes down to the fact that the Bengals are in the AFC North and they are 3rd in the AFC North. I just think there's too many other good teams that are in the AFC that are going to push them out. But I think that the Bengals, if they were in a different division, they would have the better chances because of the way the rest of the conference is looking. But I would have to probably go with the Rams because of that same reason.
Nah, I think my time will be back next year. If it happens next year, I don't know. It might be. Could be. But I think we'll keep him.
I think that they're going to let Tomlin go next year and see how it goes. And if he pulls the same shit he has the last 2 or 3 years, I think they're going to be like, yo, I don't care if you kept us above 500 every year. You ain't doing shit. You lost the locker room. You're losing respect from your peers. No one's scared of the Steelers anymore. Like they're like, what a joke. You know,
I think really basically it's Tomlin's decision to make it to the end of the season, but I think you're right. They will keep him until he completely screws up the whole situation. You know, and you know what? I don't think I know Pittsburgh is not the franchise to let go of coaches mid-season. They wait till the end of the season to let him go. But if he screws up next season, they start like 0-4 or something like that. You might see Pittsburgh making their first move doing that to a coach, and that will be. I mean, he's had a long run, and I don't know if in his mind he wants to take the time off and say, look, you know what? I'm not doing anything for this franchise anymore. I need to step down and let somebody take it over. But then we're going to come to the next situation. If he does that, who is taking his spot?
Exactly. You know how? Let's say we did let go of Mike Tomlin, and the next hour Mike Tomlin be hired. The next hour he'll be hired. Somebody will hire him.
Tomlin will be hired. He'll have a job no matter what happens.
But
I mean, even if he has to step down to a DC position for a year or two, he'll still be back up as a head coach.
I would even consider him being a commentator. Tomlin would be a good commentator. He go on there. He knows his X's and O's.
My time will be better.
He speaks well.
Yeah, he speaks well. So I mean, he that would be a good upgrade for him. You know, so.
It's easy to stop hiring within and go outside shopping. Stop the inside work. I'm sick of that shit.
Yeah, but is that on Mike Tomlin or is that on the ownership of the Steelers?
Both. Look what Mike Tomlin did. He kept Matt Kennedy around. We knew that was working. Knew what the issue was. Kept him around. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so and then Rudy's backed him. So yeah, both. Let me say that one question. Bring it back up. You think Pittsburgh needs a driver quarterback? Yes. I want to fire lit up on a kitty pick his ass. No, seriously, I will go after Justice Fair. I would do it just to put fire on his ass. I also would draft. Put fire on his ass. This is your last year. Next year's the last year. So we do get a new OC and we do get a new play caller. We get new weapons. It's your last chance. Your last chance, man. Last chance. If you don't, you got to go.
That might be the only thing. Yeah, I agree with that, B. I think that would be the only thing that saves Tomlin from getting fired is if they get a better OC. Mm-hmm. And they don't hire yes with him like they've been doing. They don't get a yes man and go out there and get Byron Leftwich, Ken Dorsey, whoever the hell.
They need to challenge
and do something.
Authority. Mm-hmm. They need to be able to challenge authority and say, okay, coach, whatever you say, coach, you know, you haven't had a losing season. Well, go with what you said.
And the fact of it is Tomlin doesn't really call the offense anyway. That's why he's had dog-ass offensive coordinators. He calls a defense. So if I was the offensive coordinator, I'd say, look, chill, Mr. Tomlin. I got this. Don't worry about that. Handle the defense. You know, that's what that's what we need to do here. Let me handle offense. You handle defense. We straight. That's what he was when he had
that ain't gonna do shit for you.
Right. And if you got an offensive coordinator that knows where to put these players at in these situations, then that's their job. That's their job. That's their job. That's why Canada got fired, because he didn't do his job. And and unfortunately, it took the ownership to do that. Ownership shouldn't have to do that. This is why I'm saying Tomlin needs to reevaluate himself in the offseason. He's going to have to start letting go of stuff. He's going to have to start saying, look, I know this isn't, I can't be, getting my boys up here and being offensive coordinators and they're not firing when they're not doing their job. Man, boss up, tell these motherfuckers, look, you don't do your job, get the fuck out of here. All right? That's what you got to do.
I've seen high school coaches call better plays than Matt Canada.
OC too. Caldwell would be great.
I like it. So real quick, I remember. Damn, what was I about to say? It was something my time. Damn, I lost it. It'll come back. I just lost what I was about to say. On my time. But yeah, but that's that question. He will be back. I think we do need to drive another quarterback as well. Let fire up on him. Can't pick that. I think so. I honestly do, man. But hopefully a change must happen. It must happen, man. But I think he'll be back, man. But if we start 0-4, yeah. And that's what it was. Everybody know on this panel how long I've been backing Matt Canada. I mean, not Matt Canada, but Mike Tomlin not being fired.
Right.
If we go into next year losing, I think Tomlin needs to go. Since we won our Super Bowl in 2008, we only won 4 playoff games since then. And the last one was in 2016. And 2 divisional wins in between that time. And not having to lose the record. Man, that shit is done with. So, there it is. Let's go ahead and move on with our next topic. Oh, wow. Speaking of more Pittsburgh talk. All right, y'all. So, do you agree with Big Ben's comment about the Steelers tradition being done? I'm going to let y'all go, and then I'm answering. Or y'all want me to go first in the eyes?
I don't care.
All right, Monkey, go ahead.
I mean, you could say that just about with any old school. I mean, it's outdated, bro.
Brandon,
that's what it is. It's outdated. Is the way I look at it is the Steelers tradition, the whole stomp a mud hole in your offense with our defense and run the ball 30 to 40 times. You can't do that anymore in the NFL. It's not done. It just needs to adapt to the new way the NFL plays. And I think that's what it is. What's really tough for his teams, especially in the NFC North or the AFC North, is because they are that classic ground and pound, shove our defense down your throat type deal teams. They need to adapt it a little bit more and be more prolific with their passing and focus on their passing and not just a run game all the time. Pittsburgh has, a good running back situation if Najee can get his head out of his ass. Najee has proven in the last 2 years he can hit 1,000 yards no problem. So adding Jaylen Warren should have been that. I'm surprised with the Steelers and the way their running has come this year, but they need to focus more on the passing aspect of the game. Do more like Philly, the play action. If you can run the ball successfully, play action will work because it'll keep the defense honest. They're not going to play 2 deep safeties all the time if you're constantly running the ball successfully. They got to bring them in. So, I mean, there's that, but I don't think it's necessarily done. I just think it needs to evolve.
All right, Michelle.
Yeah, I agree with Kevin on this one. Big Ben, I think he just chose his words the wrong way. I think it's a tradition. I think there's, you all the time that you can't run and have a good run game and establish a defense in this day and age because it is a passing league and your defense is limited now to what it can do out there in the field. Thanks to Roger Goodell, the devil. I think you're right. They need to evolve. They need to learn how to do play action passing. They need a better offensive coordinator to get that done. I really think as much as I love their defensive coordinator because he was the Lions defensive coordinator one time, he's not getting the job done. They need to change that too. The defense is all about what you put into it. Defense, you can get good defensive players, but if they're not playing on the same level as your coach is, then they're not going to play good. So, if you go out there and you throw a Dan Campbell out there and get him to run through a brick wall for you, then that's going to help the defense out, because you already got TJ Watt, you already got Hayward, you got Fitzpatrick. I mean, you got the building blocks for that defense. You just need to get a couple more players and then say, look, we're dogs out here. I don't want nobody getting a first down, much less a touchdown. And if you got a coach that's like that, you should flourish in it. The Steelers just got to adapt and overcome. That's what they got to do. They got to beat the Marines. You know what I'm saying? So, and then there goes our guy that was going to talk about the Steelers. And
maybe you should have went first.
Right. Where you at, man? I really don't want to move on from this topic because it is kind of his topic. So,
right, and Brandon's pointing out a good point. Like he says, the game is, like I said, it's the same thing. It goes with what I said. The game is evolving, and the team's got to evolve too. Better for worse, say what you will. We have
this soft.
Yeah,
this flag football type league now. I'm sick of this shit.
I was trying to, figure something else other than call it soft, but I really can't think of anything else to call it.
So our fearless leader is having a bout of bad weather in his area, and his lights went out and everything like that. So we're gonna have to we'll go on to the next count, and we'll just have him answer that question once he gets back on here. Robbie, what's the next question, buddy? Or is it Kevin's trivia? There you go, right. Kevin's trivia.
Number 3. Mr. Irrelevant has completed at least 70% of his passes in 7 consecutive games, and is the 4th quarterback to ever do it in a single season. Who were the other 3?
All right, say that one more time, Kev.
Yep. Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy, has completed at least 70% of his passes in 7 consecutive games, and is the 4th quarterback to ever do it in a single season. Who were the other 3?
Ooh, this is going to be hard because this is not Hall of Fame material either, because I know some of these quarterbacks that did that weren't Hall of Fame, but they did it anyway.
2 out of the 3 are Hall of Famers.
Oh, well, okay. 2 out of 3. And the third one is are these all people that have already played?
Yeah, none of them are playing currently.
All right, so that okay. How about well, we'll go with some obvious ones. How about Steve Young? Or not Steve Young, Joe Montana.
Joe Montana did it in 1989.
Okay. Dan Marino?
Nope. The other 2 did it actually in the same year, and it was in 2016.
Oh, 2016 quarterbacks in 2016.
Brandon said Sam Bradford, which was one of them.
Oh, okay.
The other 2 are wrong.
Okay. All right. So let's go with, so Sam Bradford was 1. This is 2016. Matt Stafford?
Nope. But those did play in the NFC.
Kirk Cousins?
No.
Played in the NFC.
Originally drafted by the Chargers. That should give it away. Yeah, Brandon said it. Drew Brees.
There you go.
He also did it in 2016.
All right, I got 1.
Good job, Brandon.
Brandon got 2. All right. Cool. All right, on to the next one there, Matt Yinser. Where the Chargers go from here?
Down
the drain.
Down.
Well, they don't have a coach. Thanks to them firing. That was the first best thing they did, was fire the coach, because he sucks. I don't even know why he was still coaching this year, to tell you the truth.
And the running back coach, right?
Yeah, the running back coach. They got rid of the that's that's Mr. Captain Obvious there. They're going to be at home for the holidays. But they got rid of them. They got rid of the CEO, I think it was, the GM. Got rid of the GM. So that helps because he's making bad decisions too. He was the one that hired Staley. So let's say they're not going to do very good this year. Hopefully, Eckler and Keenan Allen, let's face it, they're long in the tooth right now. They're what you call it, football old as fuck, and they need to go on from them too. I mean, Keenan Allen has been having productive seasons. I'm not saying that, and Eckler, he's been doing his mighty might routine for a while too. But I think it's time to move on. They got Mike Williams. Keep Mike Williams. They got that new kid that they got, a rookie. They got to get some offensive line. They got to stay healthy. That's basically really what they got to do. If that whole team would stay healthy, I don't think they get this curse every year that one of their best players goes down at the beginning of the season and they can't make it through. So that's another thing. They need to fire the damn trainer. But I think that they have a good base team. There he is.
Yeah,
right.
To answer Brandon's question, is Eckler locked into a contract? No. As what I'm looking at right now off of sporttrack.com, he is an unrestricted free agent as of the end of the year.
Sorry, we got a storm over here. The lights went out. That's crazy.
You good, but you good, bro?
All right. Let me address the last two topics of the Roethlisberger comment. When he said I think he said it might be done. I don't think he said completely done. So I think a lot of people just took that and ran with it. But for what I think he's right as far as like what the standard is and what we used to be. I think it needs to be revamped. I don't think it's necessarily done in a way, but I think it needs to be revamped, renewed, restructured. I thought a new standard because we used to be smashing my football with the running ball, stop the run, with hard nose, the defense. Especially with our defense too, put the offenses in their mouth, and we haven't been there as late. But Roethlisberger, you was a part of that tradition too. That stopped a long time ago as well. It didn't just start happening when you was gone. It was happening when you was there. So your hands ain't all the way clean in that situation. Mm-hmm. You can't really just say like, "Oh, the tradition was there when you were there," because not really. Because we had success with you, of course, but toward the back end, you was a part of that tradition being basically done. You was a part of that. So. I'm with you. I'm 50-50. I agree with you that I kind of don't because you was part of that as well. So, and I missed the monkey trivia number 3. What was the question? The monkey trivia number 3?
It was Mr. Relevant has completed at least 70% of his passes in 7 consecutive games and is the 4th quarterback to ever do it in a single season. Who were the other 3?
Oh shit!
Brandon got 2 of them right, and I got the other one right.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. It was the Mystery Irrelevant? We repeat it again?
Mystery Relevant, which was Brock Purdy, has completed at least 70% of his passes in 7 consecutive games and is the 4th quarterback to ever do it in a single game. Who were the other 3?
Was Patrick Mahomes one of them?
Nah.
2 of them are Hall of Famers.
Is one actively playing?
And 2 of them played.
No,
2 of
none
them
of them
played
are
in
playing.
2016.
Yeah, 2 of them did this feat in 2016.
Damn.
The other one was in 1989.
Right. Who are they? I don't even know.
It was Joe Montana in 89 and Drew Brees and Sam Bradford in 2016.
Oh, wow. Sam Bradford? All about Sam Bradford.
Yeah, Sam Bradford was on the Rams then. Wasn't that near the end of the – well, that was the greatest show on turf. No, that wasn't the greatest show on turf. That was like – yeah, but he was playing for the Rams then, wasn't he? Or was that that was the Rams, right?
Yeah, it was the Rams. I think it was the Rams.
I want to say he was playing for the Rams. It may have been the Vikings, but I'm pretty sure it was the Rams.
That's just before Goff got there.
Yeah.
I got you.
All right, where did the Chargers go from here? You already answered this already?
We did, but you go ahead. That's what we were on.
Okay, all right, where did the Chargers go from here? Okay. Rebuilding. Starting for coach staff, players, like Yeah, start rebuilding, man. Start rebuilding this team, man. There's a lot of issues going on with Chargers.
I don't think the Chargers are looking for Bill Belichick either.
Yeah, I would have to disagree with that too. Bill Belichick has proven that without Tom Brady, he ain't shit. I mean, people are saying, "Oh, he's the best GM and the best head coach of all time." I saw this on like ESPN and shit. I'm like, how?
Right.
Because the only good years he had was with Tom Brady, and he didn't really draft anyone special unless it was on defense.
That's the other thing.
You can't draft a wide receiver to save his life. He can't do anything with the offense to save his life. He should, if anything, go back to being a defensive coordinator. But I highly doubt his ego is going to allow him to step down to a lesser position.
That's exactly why he's not going to be the coach for the Chargers, because he wants that kind of power that he got from New England. If they don't let him be the GM, he ain't coming there. I'm telling you that right now.
You got to stroke his ego. If you don't stroke his ego, he's going to tell you to stick it. And I really don't think he has the right to have that ego. I mean, if he would have done something other than win with Tom Brady, then I would give him more respect. But I mean, look at what he's done. I mean, he drafted Mac Jones. Everyone thought he was going to be the next Tom Brady. Really?
And
I get on Patriot fans all the time on this, and it's funny because these same Patriot fans that were saying he's the next Tom Brady are now saying, "Oh, I never said that. I didn't want Mac Jones to begin with." No, y'all were calling him Mac 10. Really? Before he even played a single game, y'all were calling him Mac 10.
No, that would be something that Bill Belichick would do.
That would be funny. Yeah.
I don't think Saleh will be. I don't think they're going to replace Saleh though. Saleh is a decent coach. He just ran out of his luck this year.
Yeah, I like Saleh. I do.
Yeah.
Maybe he replaces the GM in New Jersey then.
Hey John, you done with the Chargers?
I'm not going to be out in the cold no more.
John, you still there? You got anything else to say about the Chargers before we move on to the next topic?
No, that's what I said. I think they need to rebuild. Sorry, better.
Yeah. All right, next question.
All right, y'all. Can Detroit win the division after the Denver game? Yes.
There you go, Brandon. There's your question for Detroit.
Yes. Right. This is a team that's been on up around for the last 3 years, man. Since I've seen them, this is the best I've seen them in a long time. And they're heading in the right direction, man. And I think they can do it. They finally win their first divisional title season. How long? How long has it been?
93, since 93.
93, man.
Man, you made him say it a second time today.
Oh, no. It's been a while, man. But they've been through it all, man. And look at them now.
It is what it is.
They found a coach that they believe in their system, man. Believe in his system, man. And they run through brick walls, man. And they're winning. And I think they
don't dwell on the past, focus on the present and the future.
Right.
That's exactly what he says.
Future is bright for the Detroit Lions. They come a long way. They really, really have. So yes.
Some Dallas fans need to learn to, follow that rule too.
Yeah, we talked about it last night. You missed that one. But for me, I mean, they got to win one of the next 3 games, and 2 of them are against Minnesota, which is the next closest team to them in that division. So if they win one of those 2 games, and I'm not looking at that as saying they should just play one game real hard, win the division, and do shit after that. I think they should actually try to win out. And maybe they can get, the number 1 seed or the number 2 seed. I doubt they can the number 1 seed, but they can get the number 2 seed because, you don't know what happens. Dallas could have a breakdown. Dallas is due for one of those. So, I mean, it could happen.
It'd be great if it started today.
I mean, and this will be a perfect opportunity. I mean, then the next game that they have after that, if Dallas loses to Buffalo today, the game after is Minnesota, so Detroit could win that game. If they win that game and Dallas wins their next game, the whole opening is going to be great for the Dallas-Detroit game in Dallas, because that's really a fight for the second seed. So, if it comes down to that, I still think Dallas is a little bit better team. But, I mean, hey, if Detroit keeps playing them, you're right. And if they continue to play the way that they played on Sunday, I think they can beat any team, really. But that's consistency. So,
and I do agree with you. I think Dallas.
That's what I'm saying.
Is looking at a. They're looking to go on one of them little benders where they don't perform as well. They like we talked about. Every team goes through it. There's a stretch of games that they don't play like their normal selves. That doesn't mean they're not good. It just means, they're having a bad game. And I honestly think today is going to be one of those games. The key is for the Bills not to turn the ball over. And I understand the jokes about Josh Allen and his turnovers. Will he throw a pick today? Oh, I would put money on it. I mean, there's statistic wise, he's almost guaranteed to throw an interception. I just hope it's not a pick six, because out of all the interceptions Josh Allen has thrown, he has never thrown a pick six.
That's a good thing, I guess.
You got to look at the plus sides.
But he's playing against a guy. He's playing against a guy who's got.
That's why I brought it up.
5 pick sixes. So Bland is a good corner.
Hey, yeah, I'm giving Bland all the credit in the world. He's
to tell you the truth,
out all year.
To tell you the truth, I know Gilmore is their CB1, but I'd probably try to throw on him. He's a little longer in tooth. He can get beat on some easy, some routes. I would probably throw on him before I throw on Bland.
Right. What I don't get though, they want to throw Gilmore to cover Diggs. Okay, I understand that, but I mean, you got his brother that has played against him all his life. Wouldn't you want your, the guy who knows him best on him?
Well, that'd be great if he was playing, but he's not playing.
Not playing. Yeah.
That's why Bland
Diggs
is
ain't playing?
Yeah, Diggs is out for the rest of the season. Man. You know that?
Why the fuck is he talking all this shit then?
Because Diggs is that's what
that's
Diggs
why,
does.
That's why
he ain't got nothing to do, so he's just talking shit on social media. You know how Trayvon is just like that.
Dude, I stopped
he
listening
like
to
his
Trayvon Diggs and his social media shit when he was like, "Oh, we need to go save my brother." Blah blah blah. Get the fuck out of here.
All right, more next topic. Can the defense that surrendered 164 points in the 4-game span early in the season really powered the Broncos to a playoff spot? Well, they're not really in the playoff.
Not of last night.
Not of last night. Everything's all good up until last night. So
not last night.
No, not really. They was heading in the right direction. What's on? What, 4-game?
They were won 6 out of 7 games. Yeah.
Okay. Since that time, they started to go there, and then they ran into the Detroit Lions, and then now it's back down. And, I don't know if y'all watched on the sideline. Sean Payton was cursing. Russ Wilson out.
Yeah, he was big man. He was giving Wilson the business on that one play. Yeah. I don't know what was going on with that. And let me reiterate a certain thing too. This offside shit's going to get out of hand. I'm going to tell you that right now. Anytime a referee sees somebody just slightly past the or on the ball or whatever the case may be, they're going to call that shit immediately, just like they did against Denver, which was a bogus ass call because his helmet wasn't even past the ball. Get the fuck out of here! Come on, refs. This is the problem, and the problem is the refs make these stupid ass calls at the wrong part of the game. Kind of like what was it? The Minnesota game I was looking at. They did the same thing. They were calling a very good game. Those referees were on their shit for the whole game. When it came down to the last 2 minutes of that game, I was like, dude, what are these calls coming from? All of a sudden, you're calling these stupid ass calls. What the fuck is going on here? So they got to get this stuff together. That's another thing, another topic of another show that we could talk about them refereeing. But yeah, he was cussing them out. I think he was cussing them out because how they were lined up, and he wanted to say, look, snap the ball immediately. Don't even fucking worry about it. We can catch their ass. And I think that's what Peyton was saying, because they really got robbed out of a touchdown on that drive, too.
They did.
My man was over the line with that ball. So, like I said, it was fortunate for Detroit. Unfortunate for Denver. Not that I think it would have made any difference, because I think Detroit would have came back down and scored to get out of the ass anyway. So it's just, how we were talking about how Detroit was getting figured out and teams were beating them basically by their own division opponents. I think the same thing has happened with Denver. If you don't turn the ball over, Denver is a useless team. They can't stop anything. They can't stop the run. They can't stop they can stop the pass sometimes. They got good secondary, but not all the time. They're not a great defense. They're 32nd in the league. But if you don't turn the ball over, you can expose all that. And that's what Detroit did. And I think a lot of teams are going to say, you know what? All we got to do is hold on to the ball with Denver. We got no problems. So, yeah.
Had they won this game last night, you probably be a different conversation. But they started heading in the right direction, and then they ran into the Detroit Lions. They let a running back average 9.1 yards per carry. That's tough.
That's not going to win you any games right there. Not stopping the run.
All right, Monkey, what you got?
I mean, they're obviously playing better than what they did. I mean, if they get into the playoffs, they're going to squeak in there. And I really don't see it happening if they're going to play inconsistent football. There's still 3 games left for some teams and 4 games left for others. They're going to need a lot of help getting into the playoffs. And the only way they can do that is by helping themselves, and they would have to basically win out the rest of the season, along with other teams losing along the way.
So just based on that, Denver's next game is against the Patriots. That goes without saying. They can win that one. Then their next game is against the Chargers. And then they got to play the Raiders. So they got 3 winnable games, and 2 of them are against division opponents. So, I mean, it's unfathomable they can't get in the playoffs. But they really got –
if they win the next 3 games, they'll be 10-7 at the end of the year. That will be good. That is a fair assumption to believe that it would be good enough to get in the playoffs. Especially with tiebreakers being the way they are. Like if the Bills only end up with a 10-7 record, the Broncos are going to get in ahead of them because they won against the Bills. So, I mean, it's going to come down to, like I said, they have to win the rest of their games and get help from other teams.
Yeah, maybe. Yep, at that time. Yeah, that loss didn't do them any good. So it's going to be more of a struggle for them if they're going to make it.
They would definitely be in a better spot if they would have won yesterday.
Yeah, definitely.
Like there's a lot of people say, "Oh, it's just one game," but this time of year, just one game is actually more like 3 games, as it feels like.
Yeah, they if they would have won yesterday, they would have still been in. They still would have been in the 7th spot, so they still would have had a playoff spot. Now they're in 11th. They're 11th seed, and they're with a lot of teams down there that are struggling to get up to that playoff spot. So you're fighting with about 4 or 5 other teams. It's going to be hard for you to make that spot. But they can. They can win the next 3 games. They just got to win out, and then find out what happens from that point.
All right, shall we go to our next topic? We got Jag off for the week. This week. All right, John. Shout out to Corey for the creation of our new Jag over the week picture. Pretty dope. All right, John. So I got 2. I know I got 2 again. The last week I had 2. I got another 2. All right, let me go to give you out the very, very first one. All right, Kadarius Toney. Got to get Jag over the week for this. You put a picture up. You are in front of the center. I'm not sure
yard.
What's going on. I want you to look at the receiver at the 50 at the top and look where you're at.
That's a full yard difference. That's 3 fucking feet, bro.
Some say he did check. Some say he did it. I don't think he did it all.
He looked. He looked and he grabbed his helmet to adjust his helmet, and he looked away right away. He didn't look for confirmation. Nothing. He didn't wave his hand up in the air. Nothing.
Anything. Look where you're at, bro, and you potentially cost your team this game.
Shit, your helmet's lined up with Von Miller's helmet.
Right.
Like
that is bad. What are you doing, man? Jag of the week goes to you, sir. I can't. And then my second jagoff wants to have his little inner Deontay Johnson moment when you down by the large margin and you want to act like you're doing something. Can you put it in picture? Austin Eckler, he's down by 56 points. What are you doing? Signifying you look like Claypool, but you're not laying down. You're just standing up. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You down by 56 points. And you signaling for first down. What are you doing? I get you. You just trying to, showing like, you're not going to.
What I think is funny, I don't know who player that is, number 21 right there, but he's like looking at him when he's saying, I don't know what his name is. He's a corner. But I would have been like pointing up at the scoreboard, like, yeah, look at that.
What are you doing, bro? You're doing sure you're in the Deontay Johnson. You're down by a large margin. What are you signifying first down for? I get it. You know what? You don't want to show that you've been no break situation, but still, man.
And it go back to that Kadarius Toney incident. Everybody say, well, he didn't check with the refs. It ain't the chef. It's not the ref's job.
It's not
to tell you that. You should be able to line up on the ball by yourself. That you get taught that. That's basic football 101. Line up with the ball. You shouldn't have to have
Little league football players have no issues lining up on the ball the right way. Why the fuck are professional players getting paid millions of dollars having an issue lining up on a ball?
Right.
Like it's not like a line goes like this. It's a straight fucking line, bro.
The refs
if you can look down the sideline and you're past the fucking line, you can see where the first down markers are, and you're past that marker, you're obviously offsides. You may want to back the fuck up. If you're looking down and you got another receiver on the opposite side of the field that you're looking directly at and see that he's a foot behind you, common sense says back the fuck up. So people can bitch about this fucking offside penalty that hardly ever gets called. But the fact of the matter is, it's a fucking rule, and you're the moron that broke it. So the only one to get mad at is Toney. Don't get mad at the refs for calling the fucking play that they actually should have called. That's ridiculous.
They could have called two calls on that. They could either call him out being offside or illegal formation. Either pick your poison. You still fucked up. So make sure you get on sides when you're lining up with the ball. It's just professional football. They pay you millions of dollars, like you said. So I don't understand why you can't do simple shit and why you have to check with the referee. Man, I've seen receivers out there not check with the referee, looking at the ball and say, okay, I got to line up right here. Know what the play set is. A lot of times receivers get called for that illegal formation is because the other receiver's not doing their job and lining up where they're supposed to be on the offense. But they're going to call on the one that's off the ball. So, I mean, that happens. That's bad that's a coaching mistake. But referees aren't responsible for that. They got a hard enough time fucking calling plays in the first fucking place. So I wouldn't add that onto their plate at all. Yeah, so Kadarius Toney is a jack off. And Austin Eckler, man, come on, dude. Your old ass.
Be sure you got somebody with Jack over the week.
No, you pretty much handled that one.
I got two. I got two, and it all has to do with the same game with Toney. You got Patrick Mahomes and you got Andy Reid. You guys are complaining about the bullshit ref calls, yet y'all have been favored by these refs for the past few years. You're going to cry about the refs doing their actual job, not even congratulate Josh Allen on winning when he walks up to him. He wants to complain about the officiating instead. Then, just before that, you want to snap and threaten and insult the refs at the game, which you know you can't do. And then you got Andy Reid, who's been in the league for so long, should definitely know you can't do that shit. But he went and did it anyway. Now you both are sitting with fines. Andy Reid got $100,000. Yeah, he got $100,000 fine, and Patrick Mahomes got a $50,000 fine. Good job, Jagoffs.
All right, I'm going to get you number 4. Excuse me, 4.
Tylan Warren became just the 4th player to have a punt return touchdown during overtime and second one this season. Who did it in week 1?
Shit.
Damn. Who was the other dude? You said who did it in week 1, right?
Yeah, it happened in week 1. I'll even give it to you if you can remember the game that it was.
Rams Seattle.
Nope.
Who was week 1? Who played week 1? God damn. Look at the team. Who played week 1? Damn. It's always week 1. Golly.
Yeah, it was in week 1.
Well, most of my trivia questions come from, years past, so this is probably the most recent one I've done.
Return a kick. I'm trying to remember which one. I remember that. I just can't remember what team it was. Damn it.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember.
This is a Buffalo game?
Yeah, it was Xavier Gibson. Punt return touchdown in overtime.
Oh, yeah,
against the Bills for week 1.
Oh, damn, yeah. Oh, damn.
I remembered I saw a kick return that week. I just can't remember what team it was. Damn it. Okay. Well, there you go. All right. Good one.
Good one. All right, I'm going to move on to the next topic. Are the Ravens locked to make the Super Bowl? No. Nobody's locked to make the Super Bowl yet. Nobody. I think the most favorable team is for Niners to making it. Locked to make it? Nah, not yet. We don't know. Because we've seen what they do the regular season, but when it comes to postseason time for Baltimore Ravens. So I couldn't say the lock. So no. You must do it. Other than one I say that's locked right now, it's probably the 49ers. Locked to make Super Bowl, guaranteed. But I can't even make it past the first round. So like I said, lock out for Super Bowl. No. Be sure.
Well, they have to go through some formidable opponents before they get to that point. They got a pretty tough schedule considering they got to play 3 of their next 4 games against over 500 teams. The first test will be today at Jacksonville. Baltimore doesn't seem to be a very good. They seem their offense seems to calm down on the road, according to what they do at home. At home, they be killing people, but on the road, they don't really kill people. They got to play Jacksonville. Then they got to play San Francisco at home, at San Francisco. That is going to be a rough game for them.
Yeah.
Then they got to play, and they play the Dolphins at home. Depending on how Tyreek is doing in that game, I don't think they have a good defense, but I don't think they can line up with those receivers really well. I don't think any defense in the NFL can right now. Basically, what you got to do to Miami is outscore them and make them enforce their offense. But those are 3 tough games, and then they got Pittsburgh at the end. And Pittsburgh gives them trouble too. They beat them already once this season.
6 out of 7.
So I mean, anything is possible. This might be one of Tomlin's last stands or something like that. He might
that spoiler role
to beat their ass, right? You know what I'm saying? So to tell you the truth, none of these 4 games are given. Like I said, so I don't know. I wouldn't say they're a lock to make the Super Bowl. They are in the best team in the best position to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But a lock, San Francisco's not even a lock to get in the Super Bowl. And no team is right now. I don't care how good you are. You're not.
Nobody.
Because you got to get to that point. So.
Right. All right, Monkey, go ahead.
I never think any team is a lock for the Super Bowl, no matter what, during the regular season, and especially during the playoffs, really, because it's any given Sunday. Any team can win.
Dennis?
When you get into the playoffs, it's the best of the best teams, the top teams in each respected conference. Then you got teams like Miami, who has a problem winning against teams above 500. You got the Ravens, who have a problem historically the past few years, as far as like playoffs are considered, don't have a good track record. Does any of that matter? No, because that's the past. But history tends to repeat itself. And if they don't fix their issues and just think they fixed them, they're in for a rude awakening. I don't know what happens to the Ravens when they hit the playoffs, but it's like their offense runs out of gas. Their defense usually plays up to their standard, a very stingy defense. I mean, look, when the Bills played them in the playoffs a few years back, it was a low-scoring game. respect that defense. But then you had the offense that played stale. You had a timely, costly play where Lamar Jackson threw a historically bad pick six again to Taron Johnson. That right there sealed the game right there. I don't care who you are or what you say. That was it for that game. It was last year they made it to the playoffs too, right, where they played the Bengals in the first round. But I think Lamar wasn't playing.
He got hurt.
But again, their offense seemed lifeless. They didn't look like they were there to play. They looked drained, just like the Bills did last year when they played the Bengals. They just looked drained. I don't know how to correct that. I don't know if it's, a conditioning thing or if it's a leadership thing, but it needs to be addressed. And right now, but I do believe this Ravens team this year could possibly win at least a playoff game. Are they favored to go to the Super Bowl? Sure. But are they a lock? No.
Need nobody a lock right now.
Right. There ain't no locking down shit.
That's our topic of the day. All right, y'all. The best defense in football, the 49ers or the Ravens? Last time I'm a statistics guy, so I like to look at numbers. So when you look at the total defense, what am I gonna do total? I'm gonna do all the other ones. I'll do total. All right. So the Ravens against the passing, they're fourth. They only give 180.2 yards per game. The 49ers, they give 222.1, which is 16th. Rushing yards allowed, the Ravens give up 104.2, which is 12th. And the 49ers is 78.3, which is best in football. The Ravens allow 16.8 points per game, which is second. And the 49ers give up 15.8, which is first in the best in the league. Then on third down conversion, the Ravens only give up 36.3, which is seventh in the league. And the 49ers 22nd with 39.9. And the total offense altogether, the Ravens is fourth in the league, and then total offense, they're eighth in the league. When you look at it, man, both defenses is really, really good. They really, really are. But what drives me the most, what gives me most, is I'm gonna go with the 49ers. And why? Because they're able to stop the run. They're great against the run. And I like the fact that not only they're the first against the run, they're stingy against points as well. I like that. I like the fact they're able to run. And I think they're able to do a lot of running with their offense as well. If you had to show that they contain, that's with Lamar Jackson, Gus Edwards, Edwards, and there's another one back there. They got a lot of play action going on in the system as well. And the front of it is to contain Lamar Jackson, stopping that run, the effectiveness of that, or running it itself, and force Lamar on the ball, it'd be a long game for them as well. And I think what gets me is if they're not allowing them many points and they're not allowing rushing yards. So I'm gonna give it to the 49ers because of that reason. All right, Monk, what you got?
I'm going to go with the Niners, although I do respect the Ravens defense. I have them in my fantasy. They've been doing well for me.
Absolutely.
The Ravens defense has always been, a good defense. It's like I've said numerous times this episode is, AFC North's bread and butter is a stingy defense.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still giving it to the Niners only because they are more dominant in my eyes. They play more aggressive. They make less mistakes, and they're allowing less points to be scored, and that's the whole point of the game is don't allow the other team to score points.
Yeah, but Baltimore is second against points too, so they're not. So give credit to Baltimore. Well, give me the 49ers. Bishop.
Well, if you're saying the best defense in football, that would be Cleveland. But between these two teams, I would have to probably give it to the Niners only because they've played better foes offensively. Philadelphia and Dallas are two pretty good offensive teams, and they pretty much spanked the hell out of their ass. So I would give it to the Niners. Ravens have had trouble with non-offensive teams scoring. So I would definitely give it to the Niners. I think, I mean, Minnesota for the Niners wasn't a good game either, but I'm still giving it to the Niners in this part right here. The Ravens can be that, but yeah, I'll give it to the Niners.
I'm concerned with the Baltimore. They give up 100 plus yards per game. That's they get that up. So CMC be able to run the ball over them. It's gonna be a long day. You know what I'm saying? Do what they want to do. It'll be a long day. But yeah, but give me the Niners. Let's go ahead and move on to our next topic. All right, best QB in the AFC. Dak Purdy or hurt. Give me Brock Purdy. I think Brock Purdy right now, like, statistically is putting a major note, man. We got they full of asset everywhere. Offense and defense, man. With the offense, man, like CMC, Curran Low, Demonstration getting his back, and Brandon Ayuk, somebody out there is really underrated wide receiver. Nobody really talking about Brandon Ayuk. Really is a dog for real. They really don't give a lot of credit. But credit due with that right there. And after the piece around him just works for him so well, and they put up points every single week, man. And then I will go Dak Prescott next. For some reason, he has pieces everywhere. But I'll give me Brock Purdy. Be sure.
Yeah, I think it's a tie between Dak and Purdy. Dak is playing really well.
Yes.
I can't deny that. You know, he's got his weapons around him. The offensive line is playing really well. He's making better decisions this year than he has been made in the past. I think Purdy is just up there. I think the thing that makes Purdy extraordinary is because he's Mr. Irrelevant, and he wasn't expected to do this good of a job at this early in his career as being Mr. Irrelevant. So I would probably just take that fraction over Dak. I don't know why Hurts is even on this list because Hurts is not playing well at all. He hasn't been playing really well this whole season. I think that's half a reason why Philadelphia is not having a good success. So I think this only comes down in the NFC to Dak and Purdy. And like I said, I'll give it a fraction of Purdy because he's doing so much for being a Mr. Irrelevant guy.
Mm-hmm. All right, Monkey.
I'm going with Purdy, man. System quarterback or not, he's doing his job and they're winning. So how can you knock a quarterback that's outperforming, most other quarterbacks in this group? And I give him more credit just because of the fact that he was Mr. Irrelevant. I mean, look at the other two quarterbacks you're talking about. Dak is by far leading the league for MVP, which is pretty cool. Good for him. But I just still think Purdy is, in a better situation and is the best quarterback in my eyes.
I'm going to tell Monkey True at number 5. Last and final one.
Yep, number 5. Josh Allen now has 25 passing touchdowns and 10 rushing touchdowns on the season. Who are the only 2 quarterbacks to reach those marks?
Cam Newton?
Yeah, there's one in 2015.
Russell Wilson?
Nope.
Michael Vick?
Nope.
Donovan McNabb?
Nope.
Jalen Hurts?
Lamar Jackson?
Nah.
Patrick Mahomes?
Still playing?
Yeah, he's still playing. He plays in the NFC.
Kirk Cousins? Jalen Hurts? Damn.
Russell Wilson?
Matt Stafford?
Negative and negative. He likes to play Call of Duty.
Oh, Kyler Murray?
Murray.
Yeah. 2020. I knew if I said that you guys would get it.
All you had to do was say Call of Duty. We would have.
Call of Duty. You said that.
It's been over.
Then we'll our next topic. All right, y'all. The Chiefs still a threat in the AFC? I don't think so. They're looking at another exposed team. No, they all Patrick Mahomes' fault. He lacked weapons right now. We all kind of know that. And he is trying to play Superman every single game because nobody's stepping up. And outside of Travis Kelce. But I don't think they're a big threat, man. But usually when they get to postseason, they become a much better team than they previously are in the regular season. But playing the NFC, not so much. Not right now. I think I'll give that to Baltimore as of right now. We're going, man.
All right, Jeff.
Yeah, so
Go
right now, no. That's
Bills.
right
Go
now.
Bills.
Teams are actually walking in their house beating them. So, and then the Patrick Mahomes is struggling. So I'm threat, no. That's right on now. Be sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's not to the lack of talent. I think it's a lack of people catching balls for Kansas City. I think they got the talent there. I'm sure Patrick Mahomes can make these receivers good, but the problem is they're not making themselves better. They're dropping balls every fucking 5 minutes. It's really coming to the fact that, and now they don't have Pacheco. That hurts them a lot too. Their defense is okay. Yes, they give up 20 points a game, blah, 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 but you're not winning those games. A lot of times you're not winning those games. So, and you are becoming vulnerable at home. Detroit wasn't the first team to beat you at home. There's a whole bunch of other ones after that beat you at home. And like I said, yeah, Kansas City is going to be the first time in Kansas City's history, with Patrick Mahomes, that they're going to have to play on the road, I believe, this year. So, in the playoffs.
Monkey.
Is Mahomes still their quarterback?
Yeah.
So I guess they are still a threat in the AFC, man. I'm sorry. I don't care if all his receivers drop the damn ball. As long as he has one guy that can catch the ball and Kelce, they will always be a threat. And their defense is better this year than it has been in most recent years. So I do give credit where credit is due, but they are still not the same Chiefs they have been. So they're not much as a threat, but they're always still a threat. You can't tell me you're not.
I give credit because I'm on that boat. As long as they got Patrick Mahomes, still got a chance. I agree with you there, but threat like the prom team, no, I don't think so. That's right now. They've been playing like it. But I get what you're saying, so I'll give you that, Monkey. All right, go ahead and move with our next topic. Josh, should Atlanta go all in on grabbing Justin Fields? I think so. I think they're another team that got quarterback issues right now. I think Dom and my team as well. I think we should too as well, but I think they should because now who's the backup quarterback? Who's the backup quarterback for them? Is it Matt Rudder? Who's is it Marcus Mariota? No, it's not. He's not even there.
It's not.
Who's backup?
For them. What's his face that came from Washington? That quarter that was starting for Washington for a minute. That was a backup for them.
Tyler Heineke? Is it Tyler Heineke?
Yeah, Heineke. Heineke is the backup, and Ritter is the starter. Yeah, I think really, in my opinion, I think Justin Fields should go there because their offense is more adapt to that kind of style of play. Yeah. I think they're expecting that from Ritter, and that's the reason why Ritter's not having a good season. Heineke definitely is not the quarterback for that system. He's a backup though, so you can let that go. But Justin Fields would probably be better with Atlanta because that's a system that they use. That's a system they've been using for a long time, to tell you the truth. And that's the reason why they're failing. If Michael Vick took that team to so many levels when he was playing with Atlanta, they won a playoff game with Michael Vick. So I just don't understand why they keep getting these quarterbacks that don't do those kind of things. And Justin Fields is that guy that can do those kind of things. So, and he's got pretty good receivers. He's got Pittman. That's a very good weapon to have. Or Kyle Pitts. That's a good weapon to have. And I think he should go to Atlanta.
Monkey.
They'd be stupid not to. Ritter obviously isn't panning out. I still think they need to give him his third year, like I say, but Justin Fields, everyone gets on his case because he's stuck in Chicago. Name any quarterback that's been successful in Chicago. They've never had a 4,000-yard passer. So, I mean, the best one they had, I think that I could think of off the top of my head was Jim McMahon. And I mean, he wasn't. He was that system quarterback that rode the coattails of the defense into a Super Bowl. Them 85 Bears. So to each his own. But Justin Fields, I think, would be a great addition to Atlanta by the way of their scheme. He would fit into their system pretty well, I think. And they need to do something because they're destroying Pitts' career. Pitts is supposed to be this prolific tight end, supposed to be the best tight end out of college and since Tony Gonzalez or whatever. But what's he done? You can't call him a bust because he doesn't get it. He doesn't get the chance. He doesn't get targets. What's the point of having him? I would just trade him. If you're not going to use him, trade his ass. Go get yourself a prolific blocking tight end. That would be the route to go if you're not going to use your tight ends. Is get the ones that block and then focus on your 3 wide receivers.
I'm going to move to tell the tape.
All right. So the monkey's tail of the tape is between the Dallas Cowboys and the Buffalo Bills. Dallas Cowboys are 10-3. The Bills are 7-6. By looking at all the numbers, Dallas is by far the better team. There's no denying that. But like your rushing yards per game is the only on offense is the only stat the Bills are really better at. The turnover differential, I mean, Bills are a +2, and that is solely on Josh Allen's turnovers. I mean, you like to poke fun at Josh Allen's turnovers. Well, they're still +2 in the turnover differential. So what's that tell you about their defense?
Mm-hmm.
But that's not taking anything away from Dallas's defense because Bland has 6 pick sixes this year? I can't remember what it just keeps moving up anyway every time I turn around.
5 pick sixes.
5.
Yeah.
Well, if Josh Allen plays the way he's been playing, he might get a 6th one today. Their points per game, there's not that much of a difference. It's less than a whole point. So their defenses are good and their offenses are good. They're both, I mean, look, their Bills are top 5 in everything on their offense except for rushing. And the same thing can be said for the Dallas Cowboys. On the defense side, though, the Bills are mid-range when it comes to most of their stats. I blame that on injuries, but they're still, doing their job. They're doing that bend no break bullshit. But by the tail of the tape, this should be an easy game for the Cowboys. But I just don't see it being that way.
Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be an easy game. It's in Buffalo, and Dallas doesn't seem to do too well on the road all the time. So,
and the Bills are 5-2 at home this year.
Yeah, so there you go, right there. So I think it's going to be pretty easy. I mean, not easy for Dallas. It's not. It's a pretty even out game once you mix everything together in that. I still think that Buffalo can beat Dallas. I think you got it within your guys' self to do that. I know who is it? Hyde's not playing this week, so that will be a detriment to the. And I'm not too sure if that's a detriment because Hyde hasn't been playing like himself in the last couple of weeks either. I've seen him getting beat on some simple ass routes, so I don't know if that's going to be a detriment or an improvement or whatever the case may be.
If we didn't have Taylor Rapp to come in behind him, I'd be a little bit more worried.
Right,
but Rapp has been playing when he has come and when he's in the game.
He's not spectacular, but he's out there doing his job. I'll tell you that damn much.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this one to Buffalo this week, just because it's at Buffalo, and I don't think Dallas. I don't know. Dallas is just great at home. I think a lot of these are home statistics that they're building up on, not away statistics. I'm sure if you put their away statistics versus Buffalo's home statistics, it would be offsetting. I
Right.
think Buffalo would have the lead in a lot of those categories. So I'm going with Buffalo on that one. What about you there, John?
Me too. I got Buffalo. I do. Underdog team. All right, good.
All right.
I'll have to sit that down this week. Yeah, everybody do.
Yeah, I don't sit your ass down.
Monkey, you do.
Sit your ass down? Yes, I do.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's a Philly fan.
Uh-oh.
Our favorite Philly fan that decided to, get up and leave us. Richard
Darren.
David Lutz III.
Oh, that one.
You post up about saying, and I'm going to read this directly word for word. So everyone liked talking penalties when the Eagles were winning. Let's start a tracker. For the record, I'm not saying to blame penalties for a loss. But 1, picked up a flag on touchdown catch to Lamb. 2, pass interference against Slade. Definitely not pass interference. Let's see what's next. So you don't want to blame the refs, but you go around and turn around and blame the refs anyway. That is a common currency I have seen with a lot of the Philly fans lately. Not all, but a lot of them. But Richard was the only one I had a screenshot of his comments, so he's the one that got picked on today. So Richard, you can sit your ass down, bro.
Sit your ass down.
All right, I'm going to get right to Pickens.
Hold on just a minute here. What the hell? Fuck. So let's just wait because I didn't do a pick'ems for this week. I didn't get one out there. Yeah, so 3, 4 of those games have already been played. So fuck the 4 games. We got Kansas City at New England.
Kansas City.
I'm going to go with KC, but I could also see the Patriots defense being an issue for Mahomes.
Yeah, well, I think New England is done, so I'm going with KC.
Oh, yeah, they're definitely done, but I'm just saying. I said their defense is going to play decent. I didn't say their offense.
Let's see. We got the Jets at Miami without Tyreek Hill now.
Jets. Give me Miami still.
You know what? I think this Tyreek Hill thing is going to be a lot more important than people think it is.
Yes, sir.
I was gonna pick Miami based on the fact that Tyreek was playing. I'm thinking I'm going to roll with the Jets on this one. I think the Jets got enough defense to stop whatever the hell they're going to throw out there. And Waddle's not the greatest guy. He's got speed, but he ain't the greatest guy. Tyreek is the man. So I'm going to go with the Jets this week.
Waddle hasn't done shit without Tyreek Hill.
Right.
Anytime that Tyreek Hill has been injured, that offense has been hindered a lot.
That's why I'm Waddle to show up.
And Miami, although they are leading the AFC East right now in the division, but they're not really playing like it. I mean, they're having all these massive stats, but they're against shitty ass teams. And I understand that they don't get to pick their schedule, and I understand that, and I'm not taking anything away from them. But I mean, look at the Denver game, for Christ's sakes. They put up all them points, and it was stat padding. So I think we're getting a false narrative when it comes to the Dolphins, and I think they're overrated, and that has nothing to do with me being a Bills fan. That's just me being a fan of football altogether. The Jets, I think, have a good chance of beating them this weekend. I think the Dolphins are going to go into a slump until Hill comes back, because now all they got to do is focus on Waddle. Who else are they going to pass to? The chosen one?
Sure.
Okay, what you got? Okay, the next game on the slate is Chicago at Cleveland. Who you got?
Cleveland.
Cleveland. Okay, that's my numbers. Houston at Tennessee. Stroud's not playing.
Tennessee.
Yeah, I had to get that to Tennessee. If Stroud's not playing, there's no hope for Houston on that one. Giants at Saints.
Saints.
I'm gonna go with DeVito and the Giants, bro.
Give me the Giants. Never mind. Give me the Giants. Give me the Giants. Never mind.
Yeah,
Never mind.
it's unanimous. We're all going with the Giants. Yeah.
DeVito's been playing better than Danny Penny's. I mean, and everybody loves the storyline with him and his, agent.
Yeah. And next we got Falcons and Panthers. Now Atlanta's trying to get first place. They lost that to Tampa Bay last week, but Tampa Bay's got a rough one next too. So Atlanta at the Panthers.
Falcons. They could sit every starter and still beat the fucking Panthers, bro.
It's 45-cent seat day there.
Yeah,
I'm
I
going
know.
with Atlanta too. We got the Buccaneers at the Packers.
I like the Packers. Give me the Packers. Yeah, give me the Packers.
It's at Green Bay. I'm gonna go with the Buccaneers for an upset.
Yeah, I'd like to go with Buccaneers for an upset too, but I think the Packers got pissed off because they lost the last week to the Giants, so they're not going to be very happy coming home. I got them.
What
beating
Jordan
the
Love's
Bucs.
going to come to play.
Yeah. 49ers at Carolina. Really?
You ain't know who. I don't know why you've been asking that. You ain't know who.
I think everybody's got San Francisco on that one, so let's pass that one up. The Commandos versus the Rams.
Rams.
I want to say the Rams, but I can see the Commanders pulling off an upset.
I can't see it because the Rams got Stafford. So I'll go with the Rams. Here's your big one here: Cowboys versus the Bills. We know who you got.
Bills.
Who you got, John?
Bills.
Bills. I got Bills too. Upset. Ravens at Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. Upset.
At least you hope.
I'm gonna go with Jacksonville. I think the Ravens need to be humbled a little bit. And I think this will be the game to do it.
I still got the Ravens on this one. I just can't. Jacksonville's played too bad in a couple of games at home. Even I can't give it to them. All right, Monday night's game is going to be Eagles at Seattle. Now, Eagles may not have Hurts, but Seattle might not have Geno.
Seattle an upset.
Is Seattle an upset?
If Hurts doesn't play, I could go with Seattle. If Hurts does play, I don't think Seattle has a prayer.
Yeah, I would like. I really don't care who's the quarterback for either one of the teams as long as the Eagles win, because that puts Detroit in the playoffs. You got to beat Seattle. So I'm going with the Eagles. All right, that's the pick'ems.
All right, I think we got 2 minutes left.
Yeah.
Let's go to hit the zone coverage play of the week.
Yes, I put a kicker in there.
All right. I'm sorry. We ran out of time, y'all, for today, man. So we got to cut right through everything. But I thank everybody today showed up on the show. Want to pet them. Guys been great. We're back next week, Sunday at 10 a.m. in the morning. We'll be here. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Hey, let's get that final thought up here so we're going to get up out of here.
All right.
All right, y'all. Good luck to everybody playing the rest of the day. The holiday season is the perfect time to reflect on your blessings and to seek out the ways to make life better for those around us. That's the final thought. I'm the big dog. The shirtless monkey. We got Matt Ears in the background. See y'all next week.
Peace out.